Hey, what's up, guys? As you can see already, this is going to be our mock draft episode. Super exciting. And also super exciting, I pulled the trigger. I did it. I'm a Raven. I'm a Ravens fan now. I followed them alongside the Texans. Like they were always my second team. And because of the silly and crazy Deshaun Watson stuff, I was going to follow him, and so I had taken the Ravens out of my mind entirely. But then with all that stuff and now not following Deshaun, it kind of I like went back into it and was like, wait a minute, yeah, like these were the guys I was going to pick anyway. So
I
um,
knew he was going to pick the Ravens before he knew he was going to pick the Ravens. I
he
did.
he 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 did call it. I told him to not say it on stream because I wanted to, kind of do it on my own. But yeah, no, he definitely picked it before I even did. But let's jump into this thing because it's a long one. We're doing 2 rounds, 2 whole rounds. Starting off, I think I can just do this for both of us. It's Trevor Lawrence, right?
Yeah, I mean, hey, at least we'll get one pick aligned. At least one. I mean, there should not be much debate there. Best quarterback, best player in this draft, he goes number one. It's pretty easy.
Yeah,
Normally,
like
it doesn't align so perfectly.
Yeah, like Urban Meyer recently came out and said that he had talked to 3 quarterbacks: Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Zach Wilson, which should be the undisputed top 3 quarterbacks in my opinion.
Should but we can
We're,
get into
we're gonna
that.
get into that, but they're picking Trevor Lawrence. Like he's one of the best prospected quarterbacks coming out of college since like Peyton Manning.
He should already have his contract signed. Essentially, he should
No,
already
yeah,
have his jersey being made. It should all be set.
no,
I
yeah.
don't think there's really going to be anything going on there.
It could honestly be like a oh man, the uh Carson Palmer, the Carson Palmer situation when the Bengals just signed him like even before the draft happened so he could just stay in New York. Trevor Lawrence will be able to just stay in Cleveland if he wants or go stay up north and maybe go to New York, whatever. Like he'll be able to do whatever he
Whatever he
wants.
wants to do.
Like
Yeah. Don't make him come back home. Just let him do it. Just let him do his thing.
yeah, like literally the first 10 minutes of the draft. After that, Trevor Lawrence could be like, "All right, I can."
Do we even need the first 10 minutes of the draft,
No,
or
no.
can
I
we
mean, it
just like
shouldn't. It
start at
shouldn't take
pick
that long.
two?
I'm just saying 10 minutes because like maybe he does a little interview, maybe he does a little something before he leaves, and then he skedaddles. It should take all of a minute for the a pick to be announced. But
Or they should just start at pick two. Just start the clock at pick two. Have Roger
that's
Goodell
basically.
say, and the draft starts. The Jets are on the clock. Pick one is.
That's basically what we're doing. Trevor Lawrence, done deal. Sign it, signed, sealed, delivered. Oh, and I should also state real quick that this mock draft is as of 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anything happens tomorrow, not like this is not accounting for that. I've
Or in
already
the
had to
next 30
change my
minutes
huh?
doesn't account for it.
Yeah. I
Because
I
all day we've been like, gotta change it again, gotta change it again all weekend.
I
I mean,
I
I did like 40
like
before this one.
like full mock drafts. I think I've changed my full mock draft and saved it maybe like 6 times. And then looked back at it and was just all like, nah, I don't like this. Or a new report comes out. But let's
Takes up
move.
like 10 picks, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. But let's move right on to the Jets. Now, I'm actually fairly certain we also have this one correct. Or not correct. Not per se, but
In line.
in line. Joel?
Yes. Zach Wilson. It's got to be Zach Wilson. I think that's the second one pretty set in stone for the both of us. And should be basically set in stone for him too. Should be an uneventful first two picks of the draft.
Yeah, yeah. Until we get to this next one.
This is this is where it gets complicated.
um,
This is where it gets complicated.
but yes, Zach Wilson. Me personally, I might be too high on Justin Fields, but there's there's still a chance that he goes here at 2. A a chance. And I might be thinking that this chance may be the last chance that he has before he goes to another certain team that I'm going to talk about later. Like this actually may be the last chance for him to not be on that team. But let's but yes, Zach Wilson, I have a very strong feeling, probably like 95% sure that the Jets pick Zach Wilson. I mean, he was
I'll go ahead
already
and go 99. 99%.
well, there's a reason why I said the 95%, and I'll say why later.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, like he's already talked to some of the like New York Jets greats. Like he's already talked to like Mark Sanchez and like some other people. Like, hey, like how is New York? Like basically trying to already get acclimated.
You already talked to Joe Namath too.
Yeah, name
The
it.
New York
That
great.
was yep.
Yeah, that's bigger than Mark Sanchez for sure. Talked to all the recent
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Jets
Mark
QB.
Sanchez was more recent than
Yeah,
so probably more have talked to him about like how to deal with New York. He probably picked Joe Namath's brain.
yeah, for culture and for how to be a New York QB.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's move on into this crazy next pick with the number 3 overall San Francisco 49ers. Now, I'll start this off by saying for 49ers fans in general, I really I hope I hope to the high heavens for multiple reasons actually that Kyle Shanahan picks Justin Fields here. There are multiple reasons why I want him to pick Justin Fields here. But he's not. He's picking Mac Jones. And
Hey, we're 3 for 3. That's who I got.
like I am I don't
I don't get it either.
understand how you can rate Mac Jones higher than Justin Fields. I just so I know that I know that the main thing against him is that he has a stacked team. And I know the main argument against that is saying that what Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields and these other guys didn't have a stacked team. Well, let me explain how stacked Alabama was. Landon Dickerson, possibly first round pick. Najee Harris, most likely first round pick. Jalen Waddle, probably a top 15 pick. Devontae Smith, possibly also a top 15 pick. Patrick Surtain,
Top 10 pick, probably, maybe. We'll see.
like
Christian Barmore, Dylan
Barmore, top
Moses.
20. Yeah, and Moses. Well, I mean, Moses is falling, but like that, there's for different reasons. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like this team has how many did I just count? 6 or 7 going in the first round out of
More or less, yeah.
32 picks, and out of how many colleges?
How many players in the nation? They get that many. Team was on it. He was basically already playing on an NFL team, essentially.
Yeah, but not against other NFL teams.
No.
That's
No, he
that's
wasn't.
the issue there is that they weren't playing against comparable matchups until finally, they yes, they beat Ohio State. It becomes a little bit more comparable there, but it was one game. Justin Fields was also injured in that game. I rested my case there. But yes, I just with everything, I really do think it's Mac Jones. I really do.
There's too many reports. There's too many.
And I feel
They moved
sorry.
up with Mac Jones in mind. I think they've considered some other guys. It might be Lance, could be Lance tomorrow, but or not tomorrow. I'm sorry, Thursday. But it just makes too much sense that it's going to be Jones. Makes too much sense.
And maybe Kyle Shanahan can bring out the best of Mac Jones. Maybe he can do it.
Mm, what is the best of Mac Jones? What are we talking there? It's not the best. It's not as high as those other guys, so it still doesn't matter to me,
I
even
mean,
if he gets the best.
I've dead ass seen people like argue that Mac Jones has the highest ceiling in this class.
Idiot.
I don't,
That's what I.
I don't, I don't understand. But maybe we're just missing something. Maybe they all know something, but you know, not to compare this too much, but I mean, Tua.
Tua's. I think you guys have heard me say this before. I'm in the Tua trash camp. It's trash. Shouldn't have been the pick. Should have been Justin Herbert. This guy is literally white Tua, and he's not even athletic like Tua is. Because I'll give Tua that he's at least athletic. He's 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 white dad bod Tua is what he is. He's not he's not gonna be good. I'm just gonna say it now. He's not gonna be good. I don't see a world in which he's good.
I mean, maybe the 49ers is that one world because they've got a good team, but I
Not for long. They don't.
I mean, oh man. I mean, Kyle Shanahan with this pick could possibly waste the team. Yes, that definitely
Need to be
could be a
calling for
possible.
his heads, 49ers fans. Call for his head. Call for
I've
Lynch's
already
head.
seen some people on Twitter calling like cancel.
Well deserved.
I mean, if he makes this pick, but
Well deserved.
the number 4 overall pick in Atlanta Falcons.
So I have Kyle Pitts going here. And they could do a lot of things here. They could go QB, they could go Lance or Fields. They could go offensive line with someone like Panay Sewell. They could go wide receiver if they wanted to, if they're going to trade Julio, if they think Jamar Chase is the option. Or they could trade out, and that's a popular thing too. I just don't think they're going to trade out. I'm not a big fan of mocking trades because they're so hard to predict. So I do have some. Don't get me wrong. I got some in my mock, but this one it just makes sense that it's Kyle Pitts for me.
And I'm going to agree with Kyle Pitts, mostly because I and you can even ask Joel. I was constantly trying to think of a trade partner for the Falcons because I think the best thing for the Falcons is to trade out. I think
Probably.
I think that is the best thing for them. Trading out, maybe getting J.C. Horn, as a stellar leader for that defense, for that young up and coming defense. Like, just build
Or
everything
maybe
around
still
J.C.
getting
Horn.
Kyle Pitts.
Huh?
Maybe still getting Kyle Pitts in a few picks.
No,
I
yeah.
mean,
I'm not. Oh well. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Only trade back a little bit and still get Kyle Pitts. Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, the more and more I looked at it, the more and more whatever team going up to 4, they would have to just give up too much. They would have to give up so much, and I don't see it. I don't see it.
I I don't either.
And moving on to the Bengals, I've got them doing the spicy pick of Jamar Chase.
Oh, we finally got a difference here. Here it comes. Here's where the drafts get different.
Yeah, what Penei
Okay.
Sewell?
Yep.
Easy.
I went Sewell.
I mean,
I
that's
went.
what I was debating between as well myself. But okay, so now again. Oh wait, I don't think this is lined up. My bad. Um, that must have been bothering some of you. I just realized that. I'm so sorry. But I don't think this is what the Bengals should do. By the way, I think they should get Penei Sewell. Easy, easy. But Jamar Chase, I have been seeing too many reports recently that the Bengals are zoning in on Jamar Chase. And they do say it's not just because of the connection with Burrow. It's because they also want Jamar Chase.
They do need a wide receiver one. They do. They do.
I'm not
I'll
saying that
give
they
them that.
don't, but Joe Burrow got like his leg like almost like
ACL gone, really bad. He's got the gnarly scar.
that.
That's the main thing they took out of the uniform pictures. They didn't care about the uniforms. They care about the gnarly scar on Joe Burrow's knee. I mean, and he's about to have one on his other knee, on his back, on his elbow. If they don't get him O line, this is why they need to go Sewell.
No,
He will
yes.
be pieces. He's gonna be in a wheelchair if they don't fix this. They need to fix it soon.
But see, the other thing is that we've seen this time and time again from the Bengals, though, and I'm not just saying this as an Al Ravens fan. This is what I've always seen from the Bengals.
It's true. They usually make the wrong decisions. They usually do. I'll give you that.
But
But
again, they should pick Penei Sewell. Should.
and they could. So it's not just a should pick. It's a could and very possible pick that they
Oh
pick
no no
Sewell.
no no no. Yeah
So I
yeah.
had to go with the better one here.
No, and I'm not. Yeah, I would say it's almost a toss up right now, just because of those reports about them really wanting Jamar Chase. But they could 100% in those 10 minutes just be going, oh wait, yeah, Penei Sewell. Like they could
Do we
100%.
want to be trying to draft a QB at this time next year because Joe Burrow is retired because he's no longer playing for us? Is that where we want to be in a year? No, we need to draft Sewell. We can worry about wide receiver next time.
Or even just later
Got
on
to
in
do
this
it.
draft because there's some really good wide receivers later on.
Do it later on this draft and do it next year. Get him two.
See which one.
Instead of just losing it.
Yes. But continuing on, at number 6, what you got here, Joel?
Alrighty. So there's talks that Miami's considering trading back again. I don't believe it. At some point, he's got to stop playing Madden. He's got to focus in, realize that he can't trade anymore. He's got to stay put. And I think Miami does a simple thing that's been mocked to them for months in Jamar Chase. I'm just going to leave it at that. There was a report that came out literally a few minutes before we did this that Miami is considering Jalen Waddle as better than Jamar Chase. And I just read that, and I was like, no, they aren't. I don't believe it. I'm done with these freaking rumors. They're going Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has been the best wide receiver for literally years in this class. They knew he was going to be this. And just all of a sudden, now they're saying it's Waddle. No. Garbage. They're going Jamar Chase.
Garbage. Well, as you can plainly see here on my mock draft, the Bengals already went Jamar Chase, so I physically cannot pick Jamar Chase for the Dolphins. So,
Okay.
this is going to be the start of the trade train that I'm going to call it.
Oh boy.
So right here, we got a trade with from the Chargers to the Dolphins, and let me double check what I had them give up. Yeah, it was pretty simple. It was just a first and a second to go up there. Maybe they also trade some later rounders or do something
Do
else.
some pick swaps.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah, something like that. But since we're only doing 2 rounds, this is basically what matters for our purposes. And it already says very likely, so I'm just gonna click that button right there, and the Dolphins are going to accept it. And then I'm gonna have the Chargers do what the Bengals should have and pick Penei Sewell.
The Chargers can do that. Justin Herbert will be a very lucky man.
Oh yeah.
Very, very lucky man.
Oh yeah.
Joe Burrow's gonna wish that he had played just a little bit worse, so Justin Herbert could have been the number 1 overall pick last year. He'd be like, "Why can't I be playing over there, guys? Why? Why do I have to play so good?"
I mean, to be fair, that's exactly what Carson Palmer said with the Bears back in 03.
Yeah.
Do I see a trend? I mean, also Andy Dalton most recently.
These poor Bengals killing their quarterbacks. It's becoming habit here.
Which is why.
So if the Chargers can pull that off,
I mean,
A
it's
plus plus for the
possible.
Chargers.
It's possible.
A plus plus for the Chargers.
Yeah, and then the Dolphins get to continue playing Madden, dude.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they will. Who
And
knows? They've already made 1,000 trades more than normal teams, so why not make one more?
I spoiler alert. There's more than one more. The Dolphins do another thing later.
Crap.
I'm telling you, they play in Madden this year, dude. They really play in Madden this year.
Seeing
Um,
it.
but let's. I mean, it's obviously why the Chargers would do that for Penei Sewell. I don't think I had to explain that too much. Moving on to the Lions, I think they stay put. They chillax right there, and they pick Micah Parsons.
Okay.
Reason why?
Okay.
Micah Parsons just fits for what Dan Campbell wants to do in Detroit. There's been a lot of talk about Detroit liking Micah Parsons a lot. And for me, I also think that they should go more this route than a wide receiver here, specifically because um, they're in a rebuild phase right now. So they want a more they want more players that they're going to develop like defensive players into what they want once they start really acquiring the assets on offense to become a legitimate team. Start with
Find your
the
defensive identity first when you're rebuilding. Find that defensive identity. And if you believe that's Parsons, that's fine. As you guys that have maybe watched our previous video where we evaluated linebackers, I don't like Micah Parsons.
No,
But for Detroit, it makes some sense.
yeah,
So I'll give it that.
I don't think Micah Parsons should be the first linebacker go. But I think because of how tenacious he is and just like his style just fits in Detroit or well fits with Dan Campbell what Dan Campbell wants and what he wants Detroit to become that I feel like this is a good cornerstone for him to grab right now to really hone in that they're going to go this ground and pound beat you until you're bloody kind of defense.
Fair enough. I, however, am of the opposite opinion for Detroit. I think they're going to move back.
I
So
mean
I
no
think they
that's
just
really
do
possible too.
a little tiny move back because I also think they're going to grab Micah Parsons. Spoiler, I'm going to have them pick Micah Parsons in a few picks, but I think they trade with Denver.
Okay.
So I think Denver goes ahead and makes a little move up for their QB, and
What
Denver's gonna Denver's going to send them pick 9, pick 71, and pick 237 for pick 7.
Wow. Okay, so first, third, and seventh for that first. I mean, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's just a little move up to make sure Denver gets their guy, and then for Detroit, acquire a couple extra picks when you're rebuilding and get the same guy you wanted here. It's
Well,
just
well now,
a little simple trade.
well now here's the question. Who's the Broncos guy?
I think it's going to be Trey Lance.
Yeah.
It's the so I also am of the opinion that Justin Fields is the third best QB in this draft. However, we've seen all these reports about why Justin Fields is falling, all the epilepsy, all this other garbage. And Denver historically messes up at QB. They usually do when they draft QBs. The QBs that win them stuff, they do not draft them. So I think they mess up and they go ahead and pick Trey Lance. Now maybe he pans out for him, maybe, but I think he's going to get thrust in there too soon. They're going to have another rocket launcher over there, and he's not going to be doing nothing, and they're going to be back to square one in a year or two. But that's what the Broncos do. They need to just go out and sign somebody, maybe trade for someone like Matt Ryan, maybe snag Aaron Rodgers if he comes into the field next season. Maybe go for after Russell Wilson, maybe Deshaun Watson if he clears up. That's what they need to do because they never draft correctly.
And and actually, speaking of Matt Ryan, real quick, I will mention this on one of my mock drafts. I did have the Falcons do a draft day trade with the Broncos, giving them Matt Ryan, and the Falcons would have 4 and 9, and with that they pick Justin Fields at 4 and J.C. Horn at 9.
I would love to see that. If that happened, that would be peak for both sides. I would be all over it. Yes, yes, yes. A plus for both the teams. That would be excellent. But I don't think we're gonna see that.
No, which is why I didn't end up actually mocking it, but I was just looking at it and I was like, why isn't this a thing?
That's fair. That's fair.
But I have to be realistic. I really think the Falcons are going to run it back another 2 years with Matt Ryan, get no value for him when he retires or leaves or whatever.
What can you do?
Yeah.
But moving on to Carolina.
Yep. I'll
So
let you I'll let you do this one first.
Alrighty. So I have my second trade of the draft occurring. So Carolina is going to send pick 8 to the New England Patriots for pick 15. I'll wait for him to get his stuff loaded up. For just pick 8, for pick 15, pick 46, and their 2022 first rounder. I think that's what it takes to move up, because I think there is going to be a bidding war for Mr. Justin Fields finally at this pick 8. You maybe start to see Washington giving them a ring, maybe even the Bears, some of these other teams that need QBs, but they're all too far away. They're going to have to give up too much, and Carolina may not have interest in moving that far back. So I think this is pretty reasonable, and the Patriots go ahead and grab Justin Fields.
Do I have to click it?
Yes, you do. Dynasty number 2 for the Patriots.
I hate it. And I hate it mostly because I'm doing literally exactly the same thing, except I don't know why you left this out, Joel. But the Patriots are interested in wheeling and dealing a certain player here. They're willing to wheel and deal Gilmore.
Yeah, and I saw that. I just am not a big fan of including player trades in the mock drafts, because it's very rare that you'll see a player get dealt on draft day, especially in the first round. You start to see it in day 2, day 3. But day 1, player trades are extremely, extremely rare. So I like the idea. I just could not mock it myself because I don't know. There was a pretty good report a few minutes ago before we did this video where I almost switched it and made a very similar one. So either way this works, I think I'll consider both of us right. Whatever. It's Patriots to the Panthers makes a lot of sense for Justin Fields.
The main thing is that the Patriots are going to move up and they're going to get Justin Fields. So what I have the 2025th first and 2025th second, because I can't add players onto this, but that is basically Gilmore. And
then that's Gilmore.
Yeah, and all the Patriots do is they swap the first, give them Gilmore, and then the Panthers also give them a third this year, because I think Gilmore is like a top of the second, early first kind of thing. So a swap
top
and then
second,
a third.
Late first. Top of the second, late first.
Did I say early first?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, yeah, top second, bottom first. Yes, that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm just putting in the first and second so that this trade goes through. And then boom, yep, and it pains me every time I think of it. Why are the 49ers, the Falcons, and the Broncos all not going more hardcore for this man? I don't get it. I mean, yes, the epilepsy thing, but at the same time, like, so what? It hasn't affected his.
So what?
Like, it hasn't affected his game. And on top of that, he takes.
It's only going to get better.
Yeah,
it's only going to get better.
And he takes medication for it. He's taking medication for it so that it doesn't affect him. I mean, like, it's mind-boggling to me that the Patriots are going to be able to get their quarterback of the future after looking extremely sus this offseason. they get Justin Fields. I don't care what they do in the rest of this draft. It's immediately like they have a contender again. It's stupid. I
Yeah, I'm sorry for doubting you, Bill Belichick. I'm sorry. You know what you were doing again. If this happens, I'm
I
sorry.
hate it. I hate it. And it's like and it's also it's just like the Patriots MO to take advantage of teams being stupid.
Yep, they've done it for the last 20 years. Why not do it for another 20 years?
On the field and off the field. It's ridiculous.
Yep,
Like
yep, yep,
of
yep.
course they always get caught cheating. That's the only way that they're able to stay ahead of everybody. How do they do this?
Maybe they're cheating now, insider trading. I don't know what they're doing.
Dude, I don't.
I don't know what they're doing. They're sending whispers, secret agents into the scouting departments of the other teams to throw away the good Justin Fields files. I don't know what they're doing.
Just trash this tape, trash this.
Don't let him see this. No. Epilepsy. Yeah, he report this as worse. Calls doctors, make this seem worse. Make sure we land him. But moving on.
Yes, moving
we need
on.
to move on to number 9.
I have the Broncos doing exactly what. I mean, basically, we have them picking the same. I just don't have the Broncos moving up for Trey Lance because
that's fair.
Because I do feel like that they feel like that it'll just kind of fall in their lap. Because I also don't see Washington or Chicago being able to move up to 7. And if they do, the Broncos could just be all like, okay,
we'll try again next year.
Yeah.
Which may not be the best thing for them, but at least they didn't have to give up anything, and that's fine. I almost left them alone. I just think they want to make sure, and I really do think that they like Lance and really want a QB. I don't believe the reports of them being okay with running it back. Now, they might be, and that may allow them to just sit at 9 if he falls in their laps. Great. If not, oh well. So it makes sense either way.
Exactly. And then you said earlier that you have them pick Micah Parsons, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Detroit goes Micah Parsons, get the guy that they're gonna want at number 7. Just move back a couple picks, gain some extra commodities, and just land their guy anyways.
Yep. Fair. All right. I will let you take this one, good sir. The boys at 10.
Okay. So I think Dallas is very tempted to pick what have you, Patrick Surtain, Rashawn Slater, J.C. Horn, whoever their guy is that they want. They're very tempted here. But there's been a lot of reports of Dallas looking to possibly move back because all these guys are here right now. And Arizona says they're going to be aggressive. Seems they want Jalen Waddle. So Arizona's going to move up with Dallas, even though I may not be the biggest fan of the move, personally. It just seemed Jerry Jones likes to wheel and deal. It's been a while since he's gotten to do so. I think he takes advantage of somebody being a little bit greedy and takes. So Dallas is going to send pick 10 and pick 227, so a 6th rounder, to the Arizona Cardinals for pick 16, pick 49, and Arizona's 2022 3rd rounder. I think 2 day 2s gets it done for them.
Cardinals.
It's dumb for the Cardinals.
No.
But I really think they're going to do it.
I'm not.
If it's not with Dallas, they're going to move up further.
I'm not disagreeing with the trade. I'm not disagreeing with the trade happening. What I am disagreeing with is Cardinals. You only have a 1st and 2nd this year, and then the next pick you have is a 5th. Like, you can't just be like only having one pick in the first 4 rounds.
It's an Arizona thing. But look at it this way: they moved their 2nd rounder this year for this, but they used their 3rd rounder to go snag Rodney Hudson. Okay, so that was their 3rd round pick, quote unquote, this year. So that's not too terrible. Move up for the guy you like, and you snag Rodney Hudson, so to speak, with your other one.
Yes. So they get Jalen Waddle.
They picked Jalen Waddle.
Well, I have the Cowboys sitting right down, chilling, having a nice little glass of tea, maybe a little scotch, and just sitting
On
back
Jerry Jones's yacht.
happily writing Patrick Surtain the second's name on
Hey,
a on
and
a.
I would sit there and I'd be, hey, good job, guys, you did it.
No,
You
yeah,
didn't mess up. Moving back is risky. It's risky, and you'll see what happens to him here shortly. So it's a little risky, but
and
I would be so happy if they did that.
and
That would.
which is why I think they could be risky with their other picks. I think they're going to wheel and deal the other picks. If it was an almost foregone conclusion that they could still get Surtain, maybe they trade back. But for me personally, I don't think they should. Stick right there, get Surtain. Like the only other way I see that the Cowboys should trade back is if the Patriots actually trade with the Cowboys instead of the Panthers.
And then Surtain's much more likely to fall to him.
Not only that, but the Stephon Gilmore part. You may not need Patrick Surtain.
Or you can just do that and then have 3 stellar corners.
I mean, okay,
Finally have a good
Mister,
DBs,
okay.
finally.
But so since I had Patrick Surtain go here at 10, I am actually having the Giants go Devontae Smith. Now, the reason why is because there has been some rumblings. There's been some rumblings that the Giants are kind of split on a couple of different fronts, but that the front office wants Devontae Smith.
And Joe Judge probably does, it seems like.
So
Gentleman's the only one of different mind, seems like.
yes.
So
So
I think Gentleman might be on the way out the door. So those other guys are gonna get what they want.
yeah, yeah. But yes, so I do think that they grabbed Devontae Smith because that's what they want. Now I know I've seen a lot of people want the Giants to pick Waddle. I have been seeing that people are putting Waddle above Smith. I personally I'm torn a little bit on that just because like I get Devontae Smith's size and all of that kind of stuff, but at the same time like he's just so good. Devontae Smith is just
He's a
so
Heisman winner. Heisman winners usually turn out to be good.
yeah, like he's just
Usually.
good. Like I'm afraid of him getting hit too, but he's just good. Like
He's too good to pass up here. He's too good. And I have them picking Devonta Smith as
yeah.
well.
Um
He's
but
too good.
but yeah, I was gonna say he was the one of 3 guys that stood out on that stacked Alabama team. Him, Harris, and Surtain.
Yep. Yep.
I
Fully agree.
I'm sorry. Like there's a reason he stood out. And I have an analogy for how stacked the Alabama team is, by the way. So it's like Alabama drove up to McDonald's, saw that they had a double quarter pounder, and they're like, no. I want that to be a quadruple.
Quadruple. That'd be lit.
That's
You gotta give me one of those after this, baby.
yeah, but I mean, okay, go for it. But like, that's just how much more stacked like the rest, like how much stacked they are compared to the rest. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
And that
But
he stood
Devontae
out
Smith's
on that.
the easy pick. Yeah.
But continue. What
Yeah. No, I have Devontae Smith going there too. Easy pick. Moving on to Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia goes J.C. Horn here. I think they need a voice on that defense. He's mean. He's nasty. He fits Philadelphia. I love J.C. Horn. It pains me to see him go play for my blood enemies, so to speak. But
hey, at least they didn't move up to get Kyle Pitts.
that would borderline make me shoot myself. But this is okay. I can survive J.C. Horn landing there. We're only gonna have 2 other. J.C. Horn can only stop one of our wide receivers, so it's okay. He can stop Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb will get 200 yards. It's all good. It's all good.
But I will say in that mock draft that I did have the Falcons do that trade and get the 4th and the 9th. Kyle Pitts falls to 8, and I do think that if that happens, there's a chance that the Eagles can trade Ertz and like a couple of picks to go up to 8, so that the Panthers have their tight end, and they also only go back to 12, so they could still probably pick Slater, and the Eagles get Pitts. I wanted to do that so bad.
No, we're
I wanted.
no. Please, no.
But one thing I read actually really interestingly is that there is specifically one player that what's the GM of the Eagles name? Roseman?
Yes. Howie Roseman.
Roseman. There was a report that said that, now, I mean, this could all be smoke, but I'm using this to explain why I'm picking this person here. That the one person that they would pick over J.C. Horn is Jalen Waddle, because they like their speedsters.
I hope they do that. I'll be so happy. He's trash.
Yeah, you're welcome, Joel. You're welcome.
If they do that, I'll be probably more happy than whatever the Cowboys do. Because at least I don't have to worry about that garbage.
Wow, I don't know if I'd call Jalen Waddle garbage, but I mean he does seem like just like a speed, like he just seems to be fast, and so,
Henry Ruggs too.
Huh?
Henry Ruggs too.
Yeah, like that doesn't always translate well. Now he could translate well. I'm not saying that he can't. But it does seem that if that's all you got, like if you don't progress more than that, then you're not long for the NFL.
Exactly. So maybe they'll get a couple cool years out of him, and then he'll fade. They always pick wrong at wide receiver, so if they pick him, it's going to make me that much more sure that he's wrong. They always pick wrong at wide receiver. Look at their track record. It ain't good.
But moving on, so now we've got a different picks at number 13. I think that the Dolphins, needing an edge, are just going to pull the trigger on Kwity Paye.
Okay. Solid.
They just
solid.
Pull the trigger.
Fit well there.
No, yeah.
Very solid.
I mean, yeah, he's monstrous athletically. I think he does need to develop. I think there are some holes in his game. But like, he's athletic freak, so
I think Brian Flores can get the best out of him.
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay there. That's a good one. But for me,
hey, I got
Chargers,
the Kwity Paye haters
who
like this.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Paye, but that's solid landing spot. He's a good player. I just don't think he's going to be great. Won't be great, but it's a good solid pick. Solid B. That's good. But for me, I have LA Chargers staying put at 13, and they go Rashawn Slater. If Rashawn Slater falls into their laps at 13, they don't have to move up for Sewell. He might be better than Sewell by the time all their careers are all said and done. Even if it's at offensive guard, he might be the better offensive lineman between the two of them. I absolutely freaking love Rashawn Slater. So if he falls into the laps of the Chargers, Justin Herbert's saying the same thing I said earlier. He's a very happy man. Joe Burrow's jealous. Either way, he doesn't. Pairing him with Lindsley is just, it's going to go well.
No, I do think Rashawn Slater does the best as guard. That is his thing, is guard. Which kind of gets me into my next pick with the Vikings. As you see, Rashawn Slater's still there.
Oh.
The Vikings take Rashawn Slater because they need a guard as well.
If they can, anywhere that Rashawn Slater goes, it's not too early for him, frankly. So anywhere he goes, he's borderline a steal. He's a very good player.
No, he
Very
is.
good
He
player.
is.
Can't
But
go wrong with that one.
what do you got the Vikings doing?
I have them going because Rashawn Slater's not there for them. They really just need offensive line, frankly. They need to fix everything. So I have them going Darisaw. Darisaw
Darisaw,
makes
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
sense for them at 14.
I mean, that makes that's what I would have had if Slater wasn't there.
Yeah.
Maybe Queedy
Darisaw may
Pay.
I'm not a huge fan of Darisaw personally. I just think that that's how NFL teams view him value-wise. So that's why I put him there.
That is
Don't take that as me making him that high, because next up for me is probably AVT talent-wise personally. But I I'm gonna concede to the way that the NFL is doing it. Darisaw, that's probably where he goes.
yeah.
But
What do you got for the Panthers though?
all right. So for the Panthers, they got this pick from the Patriots earlier. So I have them taking Dallas's prize with Patrick Surtain. As much as it pained me to click the button when I was messing with these mock drafts, it just I can't. It would be wrong for me not to do that. It would be me, I don't know, fanboying and just sending him to Dallas just for the heck of it. I had to be fair. He goes to Carolina. He's the best player there easily. Carolina just can kind of afford to pick anything. If they snag Patrick Surtain at 15, in mine, it's just be stupid if they can pull that off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the boys could pick Surtain at 16 if that trade included Stephon Gilmore.
That is true. That is true. If that happens,
because that's the exact reason why I personally have the Panthers picking Darisaw, is because they got their corner. They don't need to pick J.C. Horn here. They've got their corner in Stephon Gilmore. They're going to get some offensive line because that's the other thing that they really need.
Fair enough.
So I have the Panthers grabbing Darisaw there.
Fair enough.
But now that I'm at the Arizona Cardinals, they do need a corner. And weirdly enough, I've got J.C. Horn sitting right here. So I'm gonna click on J.C. Horn and give him to the Cardinals because that's what they should do.
If they can land Horn there instead of doing something dumb and trading up for who I think is going to be a glorified bust, that's win. They went from Patrick Peterson, who was routinely one of the top corners in the league for his time there, straight to J.C. Horn. Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah, it just makes too much sense to me.
Yeah. But for me, I have Dallas there. Dallas still needs a corner because they did not get to do the beautiful
trade back and still get Surtain.
Yeah, they did not get to do that. So they have to take Greg Newsome. He's still a nice consolation prize. He's a very good corner. Picking him at 16 and picking up the extra second, not the end of the world. They could use a number one corner. I am a believer in Diggs. I think Diggs can be a number one corner. Sliding in Newsome across the other side, it's not a lose. It's a solid B. You're a little disappointed that you couldn't grab Surtain and have that elite guy, but sometimes that's the way of the road in the league.
No, yeah, it does. That does happen. Especially when you do something risky like what you have them doing.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Sometimes Trader Jerry gets bit in the butt. That's the way it goes.
I would almost say that the Cowboys shouldn't do that unless if they see that the Patriots Panthers trade included a corner.
Shouldn't trade back, yeah.
Yeah. I would almost say that they, just because staying at 10 and getting Surtain, I don't know if that's not better than getting a second next year.
Well, second this year.
Sorry,
what they do with their second rounder.
And a
well, you see how they're able to play it. And they got a third next year.
Third.
When you see how they're able to play it here in the second round for my mock draft here in a little while, it's going to be like, oh, this makes sense. You turned Patrick Surtain into this. So
okay.
Could be okay. Could be okay. We'll see.
I'm just saying me personally.
That's fine.
But what do you got for the Raiders?
So for the Raiders, I have them. The Raiders, since Mike Mayock has taken over, and Gruden has taken over, they routinely draft badly. So I have them doing that again. I almost did a meme pick here, just giving them whoever the fastest guy on the board is, because that's what they like to do. But I have them going with Tevin Jenkins because they got rid of their entire offensive line for some unknown reason. So they got to go Tevin Jenkins here, which would also be a mess up because you got Elijah Vera Tucker still sitting there. But I just don't think that they do that. That's kind of a gut feeling for me. Tevin Jenkins feels like a Raider to me.
That's fair. It's not that Tevin Jenkins is bad. It's that you're picking him over AVT.
Yes, that would be a mistake.
No,
They
that's fair.
also they also could go someone like Barmore.
I
I could see it.
I was about to say I think they do a different mistake and go with Barmore.
And I almost close. I have it in parentheses on my mock draft. They almost went that way for me. There's a lot of ways they could mess up right here.
Now,
I
now
just think the Jenkins route.
again, it's not necessarily anything against Barmore himself. I think he's still good, but there are those reports that came out that he may not be coachable.
He's not coachable. That's what the reports were. It's
Well,
not
no,
may
I'm
not.
sorry. I
He's
say
not.
may because I say may because we need to see how he progresses into the NFL because a lot of people said that about Jadeveon Clowney and that was wrong. It was just that the
He's not been
Texans
coached very
coaching
recently.
sucked. Huh?
Yeah, and he's not been playing well recently. So maybe the reports weren't so wrong.
Well, he hasn't been
Maybe
playing well
just not a
recently because he's
talent
not a
snatch.
number one dude.
Yeah, well, but we'll see what Barmore amounts to. The other issue with him is he's not on the field as much as you would like to see with an early round
That's
defensive lineman.
that's
He did a
awesome.
lot of 50-50 in his play shares, so he's not that stellar.
No,
He has a lot of developing to do. He needs a lot of coaching, and he may be resistant to it. So might want to stay away from that one.
yeah,
But that would make sense for the Raiders. Gruden's arrogant.
and they
I see
like
it.
they like their big dudes on the line. They like their big
They
athletic
do.
dudes.
They do.
But moving on to the Dolphins now, we've got both the Dolphins here, but we had them picking different things earlier. What do you got here?
I have them going Najee Harris. That is another pick that has been mocked to them for a very long time, and it just makes so much sense that I'm gonna leave it alone. Not gonna go against the grain. I tried to go against the grain sometimes, but I wanted a good mix. So it's a safe pick that they're gonna do Najee Harris there. It
And
just
and
it makes
I
sense.
totally agree. Even though I picked Edge first, I think here is just a super solid time to grab your running back. Just do it. Pull the trigger before these other teams coming up. You know, like the Jets, the Steelers, even. I mean, I don't know necessarily. I mean, yeah, the Jags, the Jags. I don't know if they would move up for them though, but like get them before they grab them.
Yeah, and then if you let him fall further than that, where's he? Then you have other teams moving up from the second round. You don't know what's going to happen. So remove the doubt. You have 1,000 picks. You can afford to reach a little bit.
Especially in mine.
Yeah, you have a bajillion picks. You're gonna be fine. Pick the guy you want. It's okay. Might be your little. I'm not a big fan of picking running backs in the first round, even though Zeke's on my team. I'm not a big fan of picking running backs in the first round, but get your dude. Get your dude,
Yeah,
Miami. Go ahead.
100%. So yeah, I also have Najee Harris just because it makes sense. But another pick that makes a lot of sense is a Washington football team taking JOK.
Hey, we got the same one again.
Oh really? Dope. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it just fits, right? Like it just makes sense almost.
They are really building something on that defense. I'm kind of scared. I love JOK. I would be very sad to see him land in Washington. I almost want Dallas to like consider him at 10. Like that's how high I am on JOK. I think he's going to be great. And seeing him play for Washington for the foreseeable future is going to make me a very unhappy camper. But had to do it. Had to do it to him.
No, I
Wait,
think he's gonna be great as well. And I think that's a very very solid pick for Washington. They need a good linebacker. Some of the other things, I mean, they kind of still need offensive line, even though they just got what's his name from
Eric Flowers.
yeah Flowers.
Eric Flowers he ain't nothing.
No,
He's
no, yeah, which is why they still need offensive line. But I was just bringing that up because yes, that is a trade that happened. Um,
yeah.
but like yeah, like they still need
You can't
offensive
pass up
line.
on the
But
talent.
but right now, I think it's still a little too early for Tevin Jenkins. I mean, they could go AVT here, they could,
Maybe
but
it'd
I
be
just
wise.
I like JOK a lot. I like JOK a lot here. But what do
Go
you
ahead
got for
and
the
build that defensive
Bears?
identity. For the Bears, I have them, despite the fact that I'm not here high on the Bears organization as a whole. I have them making a smart, good pick and picking Elijah Vera Tucker. They do that. Don't screw up. Don't move up for a QB where it's way too far away, where you're not even going to get maybe the guy that's right, or pick a QB here way too early. Just pick probably the best guy on the board here. Just go ahead and get him. And Elijah Vera Tucker. Fix the O line. You got Bears' identity for forever has been grinders and maulers. Get it done.
Yeah, except I think they are super worried about that QB thing, and I also think a certain team is super worried about a certain person on my draft board that has already gone on yours. I have the Saints moving up here with the Bears because they want Greg Newsom.
Oh, okay. I
Uh,
like it.
yeah.
I dig it.
Let me just double check what I had for the trade. 28,105 for, yeah, obviously the 20th, and then the 2022 third. So I have a first and two thirds, a first and two day threes to move up 8 spots in the
Okay.
later first. I think it's pretty
Not day
reasonable.
threes. Two day twos with round three. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said day twos, right? I said late day
You
twos.
said you said day threes. You said day threes. It's
What?
all good though.
I meant late day two.
Yes. Excellent. That makes sense for the value. Bears accumulate some
Because
extra
they
picks.
need some. Which that in and of itself is not a terrible trade, but I'll get to the Bears later when they pick at 28. But yeah, like I said, they move up here. They get their cornerback of the future, Greg Newsom. I think it's a solid pick, and I think it's also solid for them to do that because you got the Colts, you got the Titans, you even got the Jets, all that could pick corner right here.
He ain't going down to them.
Oh no no no, he ain't
So
falling at
if
20
they
if
if they they want Newsom, go ahead take Newsom. Move up for him. Go ahead do it. Pair him with Lattimore. Have an excellent cornerback duo, one of the best in the league. Go for it. Do it.
easy peasy. All right, moving on to the Colts. Now, as a former Texans fan, I did pay attention a good bit to what the Colts do. They are not that splashy, and they pick kind of safely. Another thing they do is they take risks on corners, so they're taking Caleb Farley.
That's what I had them do. That's what I had
Oh,
them do.
really? I
I
mean, they
almost sent
do.
him
They
Christian
take risks
Barmore.
on corners all the time.
They do. I almost sent him Christian Barmore. I will say that I did. My second final mock draft had them picking Barmore, but I just no. I have Barmore falling after those reports. I was just thinking about it. I was like, he's gotta fall. It's too early. The Colts aren't stupid. They
No,
make
no,
some
no,
risks,
no, no.
but they aren't stupid.
I think the Raiders are arrogant enough to take Barmore. I wouldn't. The
That's
Colts aren't arrogant or dumb.
no.
But what I will say is they like taking risks with the corners.
They do, and that's why I sent him Farley.
Exactly.
Farley might fall out of the first altogether, though.
He
So
could. He could. And in the place, I could see them going that safe route like I was talking about and go Tevin Jenkins if they don't go
that would
Farley.
not be unwise. Not be unwise.
Yeah, like right now is a good spot to pick them. I mean, I still think that AVT is better, but I don't think they need interior O line. I think they need tackles. So,
Yeah.
but continuing on to the Titans, what do you got here at pick 22?
I send them Elijah Moore because I think they're going to make every effort to replace Corey Davis. I think they really liked having the Corey Davis, AJ Brown 1-2 punch.
Yes.
It may not be the wisest thing for the Titans organization, but it's not a horrible pick. Elijah Moore is going to be a good player. I like Elijah Moore a lot. If that's what you want to do, it's what you want to do. Your defense can stay trash. It's fine. I mean, Dallas has done the same thing for forever, so who am I to bash that strategy?
I mean, I'm
Keep
I'm
the
a
offense
little
good.
lower on Elijah Moore than a lot of people. I mean, I think he's gonna be great. Don't get me wrong. I just think there's a couple other people, Bateman, Tony, that are a little bit better than this guy.
Oh, freaking Tony! Yeah, he is, but I don't think teams see it the same way.
No, they don't. They don't.
Tony
They don't.
Tony's my man's.
So Tony's my miss. Um, well, you may or may not like where I've got him going.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
But moving on. So yeah. It's like so much talk has been made of the Titans taking Elijah Moore. I think they just do it. I think they just do it. Even though there's some other things that they could grab here, like they could grab an edge very easily. They could grab Aziz Ojulari, for instance. They could grab Bateman instead, for instance.
They
Um,
could. There's a lot of things they could do.
yes,
A
there
lot of
there
things
is,
they could
but
do.
again, there's been a lot of talk about more, so I kind of almost have to mock it now.
Listen to the chatter. You got to listen to the chatter. Can't ignore it.
Exactly,
Can't mock based off feelings.
exactly. Like we don't have connections, so the chatter is basically our connections. That's basically what we can base things off of. I mean, also kind of we also use a little bit of our own, our own thoughts, but at the same time, like exactly, you have to use the chatter. And continuing on to the Jets. Now, this is another team that could just do so many things here. They could do so many things here. But I really think they go Zaven Collins. I think Zaven Collins is screaming to them in their mind at least. And
Colin?
they want Collins. I think Collins could actually be the second best or maybe even the best linebacker in this class. I think it's him or JOK. I think it's a tough toss up between those two after looking at some more stuff. I honestly don't remember where I had all these people ranked, but like the more I looked at Collins, I really like Collins.
Zaven Collins, he's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
So that would not be. I'd be totally. Jets just need talent all around, so that'd be fine. I had them going a different way with the guy that went way earlier in your mock with Quiddy Pay here. He's still left in mine. I think
Yeah,
this
no,
this
he
is where
is.
the edges start going. I think this is a better landing, like more likely that he falls down this far, and he might go that early, and it's not horrible if he does.
I just
And
think the
if the Dolphins
Dolphins.
do trade back, that would be perfect fit. If the Dolphins don't trade back, this is a much more
No,
likely landing spot to me.
100%. I again, the only reason why the Dolphins even did that was because basically all of those top 15 pick wide receivers were gone. And so I was like, well, they pick an edge here, and I don't think they take a chance on Jalen Phillips this early. Queedy Pay has to be the other dude taken here.
And that's totally fair. And that's not horrible. It's just the next couple don't really make sense. So that's why he tumbles down to 23. It's just because of team needs.
No, exactly. And and
I think.
and and if I didn't have the Dolphins move back, I think 23 with the Jets is a pretty good pick for Queedy Pay. I think that's a pretty good landing spot. I think that's actually that is very likely. Again, I like doing trades and I even do player trades. So again, if
Just
any of
like
these trades
trades.
don't happen, obviously this is wrong.
That's okay.
Yeah, I take a little bit of a risk, but moving on to pick 24 with the Steelers, what do you got them doing?
All right. So I departed from the norm here, and I have the Steelers trading out of the first round. I have them trading with the Philadelphia Eagles here. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to play aggressive with all of these picks that they've managed to acquire through the Carson Wentz trade and through trading back. So I have the Steelers sending pick 24 and pick 216, sixth rounder, to the Philadelphia Eagles for pick 37, pick 70, and pick 150, which is a fifth rounder.
Boom. All right. Yeah.
And I have the Eagles selecting safety Trayvon Marrig here, which, as you guys heard in the last episode, Trayvon Marrig is one of my favorite prospects in this class. And I hated sending him to the Eagles. But I think the Eagles want to finally fix their secondary. Their secondary has had the worst luck of any team in their secondary over the last few years. If I didn't hate them so much, I would feel bad for them. So I let them have Marig here. I think they jump up because the likely landing spot is the Jaguars for him. That's been mocked for a very long time. So I think they go ahead and they're like, oh, we know what Jacksonville's going to do. So we got to just leap them by one pick. Take Jacksonville by surprise. Go steal Marig.
See, that's actually that's a big play right there. The only thing for me though is I still have AVT on the board. While it pains me to say this, I don't think the Steelers pass up on AVT.
Yeah, he's not there on mine. If
No,
Elijah Vera
exactly.
Tucker had been there on mine, I probably would have left it alone.
Yeah.
But
So
he
sorry.
no, go ahead. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, I was just saying. So yeah, AVT is going to the Steelers, and then just jumping straight into it because again, I don't think I have to make too much of a case here for AVT going to the Steelers. I mean, I guess they could also go Dickerson here, but not with AVT on the board. I like Dickerson to Steelers, but moving on. Jaguars, Malrig, easy peasy. I don't have anyone jumping up in front of them. They take Malrig. He's the best thing on the board for them. Easy peasy.
That would be easy, and it makes a lot of sense. I just decided to depart from the norm a little
No,
bit.
no, no.
So,
That's great. I'm about to depart from some norms.
oh, okay. Here we go. I have the Jaguars because they lose out on Marig, which happens. I have them going Rashad Bateman,
Oh,
getting Lawrence a nice shiny toy. They could go O line here, but I think they can take care of that at the top of the second round.
yeah.
So they use this nice little pick right here to go ahead and take Bateman.
No, that would be an excellent pick for the Jaguars. I think that would be great. Um, well, what do you got the Browns doing?
I have the Browns because the Browns are in a unique position for the first time in probably Browns history where they have a ridiculously stacked roster where they have literally no weakness. So I have them just looking at the board and seeing Zaven Collins sitting there, who is likely the best player on the board. Their defense already looks like it's going to be stupid good, possibly top 5 material next year. They snag Zaven Collins here. Sorry, Baltimore. Browns might be winning the division next year with Zaven Collins back there. Here we go. Baker Mayfield, here he comes. It's Browns time.
I mean, let me show you what some crazy stuff the Ravens could be doing in this draft. Some of the crazy
No,
stuff.
they could. I have good stuff for the Ravens to go. They're gonna compete. Don't get me wrong. They both could be going in that 13
Oh
win
no,
category.
no, no.
But
Honestly, for me, I mean, even following the Ravens for so long and now being a Ravens fan, I don't hate the Browns. It's almost like when I was a Texas fan. I never hated the Jaguars. I just viewed them as like a little brother. I mean, obviously the Browns are older than the Ravens, so like that's different. I mean, I think the Jaguars came in the same time as the Texans, right?
they came in a little. Actually, Jaguars came in a little bit before Houston.
That's right.
But Houston's been better over the stretch of their franchises, and that's true for the Browns and the Ravens. While the Browns might be older, Ravens have been significantly better since the stretch. So you could see the same big brother little
I
brother
mean two
type thing.
Super Bowls in what 25 years?
That's pretty freaking good. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine.
But just like Joel said, they don't really have any cracks in their thing. So what was the main thing that they were wanting this offseason? Edge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that they fixed Edge. Well, fixed it for this year. I am actually going a different mind thought or a different train of thought. My bad, mind thought. I'm going with a different train of thought than what I was originally thinking because I originally thought that they already had that fixed so that they were going to go wide receiver or some weapon or something here. But after talking to Joel one time, I was looking for a team that could snag this dude and snag him nicely. And a team that would want to take this guy is a team that doesn't have any cracks. that doesn't have any super needs that can develop a dude in Gregory Rousseau.
Holy crap! If you guys remember, Miles Garrett was one of my comparisons for Gregory Rousseau. They can have twofold Miles Garrett's. Let Gregory Rousseau develop just for 1 year. Just give him 1 year to sit back there. It's going to be absolutely freakish seeing him rush opposite Miles Garrett.
I
That would be
don't.
insane.
I,
Insane.
I mean, again, as a Ravens fan, I almost don't want that to happen. But I was just looking at it and I was just thinking, I'm like, they could really take a chance here because they can reach here because they don't really need anything, and their next pick is late in the second. Gregory Rousseau's not going to be there late in the second.
No.
But you want to know what will be there late in the second? More weapons.
Which you don't really need that much more of. The weapon you're picking is going to be like your third option. So you don't need a top tier weapon when you can have someone like Gregory Rousseau. That would be absolutely amazing for them.
So now the Ravens pick at number 27. Now, I have them staying here at 27. I have them chillaxing, staying here because their number one wide receiver fell to them with Rashad Bateman.
Woohoo! That's nice.
The wide receiver that they are eyeing hardcore is Rashad Bateman. If he falls to them here at 27, done deal. They take him. Easy peasy. They don't trade out at 27. They don't do no nonsense. They take Rashad Bateman.
Fair enough.
I know it might be tempting. There's also Tevin Jenkins on my board. Alex Leatherwood's a little bit later. But Rashad Bateman. Like, he's so good. I think he might be the best receiver outside of the top 15. Like, he fits in the Ravens. He fits. They don't need another slot guy, which is a reason why I was actually kind of high on Kadarius Toney going to the Ravens, but he's a lot like Duvernay though, and I have faith in Duvernay. I have a lot of faith in Duvernay, and I just don't think they double up on another Duvernay. So that's
fair. If Bateman's there, that's probably what they would do.
Yeah,
Bateman's there. That's probably what they would do.
I really like getting a weapon right now. And then also on top of that, the main reason why is because the Ravens have always been so good at developing linemen and defensive talent. That's been their shtick. Keep doing it, Ravens. Grab some Joe Schmo in the 3rd or 4th round and make him a starter. That's what you do.
Fair. So for the Ravens, for me, I spent a long time debating what they could do. Very long time. It was hard. I almost went Azeez Ojulari. I'm a big Azeez Ojulari fan. But I didn't. I sent them one of my favorite prospects in Kadarius Toney. I get that he's a duplicate with Duvernay, but just them. I think Mr. TNT can become a number one wide receiver, which is what the Ravens need. Even if he has a similar skill set to Duvernay, that's okay because I do think he's going to become that number one guy. And Lamar Jackson will finally have a weapon in Kadarius Toney, and they're going to actually have a legit passing game. Just don't overthink it. Take the wide receiver, make it happen.
I mean, I would argue that he would finally have a weapon. He has some weapons. He just doesn't have a number one. Now, some dudes could develop into a number one. I have full faith in Duvernay. I have full faith in Brown. I have full faith in Watkins showing up this year.
Don't forget Prochet.
And Prochet, nice. I really like Prochet, of course. Like, those 4 dudes could develop really nicely. But you add Bateman in there. Or Toney. I mean, I like I said, I'm also a Toney guy. I really like Toney. I would not be upset about that pick. I do think that the Ravens are really big on not doubling up and wanting versatile dudes, though, which is why I feel like they may not go Toney. But at the same time, I would not be upset. Wouldn't be upset one bit. And you got, and again, we have another different picks here. What do you got the Saints doing at 28?
Okay, so the Saints in my original final, so to speak, original final mock draft, I sent them Caleb Farley here. So I thought that was a decent landing spot. But then I was just pondering, and Colts make sense because they always reach on injury-prone corners. So I was looking at the Saints. The Saints are another team that often mess up in the draft. Okay, and they especially mess up on defensive line, which they just had to let a large portion of their defensive line walk. So they look at defensive line and they see Barmore sitting here, and Sean Payton's a little bit arrogant. I love Sean Payton, don't get me wrong, but he's a little bit arrogant, and he says, "Oh, I can fix Christian Barmore." And they did a similar thing a few years ago with Marcus Davenport. Reached on a guy, very talented, but had a lot of issues, a lot of red flags, and they do it again with Christian Barmore.
I could see it. I could see it. Unfortunately for them. Um, but yeah, I mean, he is a bit arrogant. I mean, kind of like how I was saying with the Raiders being arrogant. So is Peyton.
His arrogance usually pays off, though.
Exactly. There's a good. Not comparing them as coaches. Sean Payton is the way better coach.
Oh yeah.
But I've got the Bears here at 28 because I already had the Saints doing a smart move and moving up for Newsome. Kind of like how you had the Bears do a smart move and the Saints do a dumb one. Well, I've got the Bears doing a dumb one, and they're going Davis Mills. They really want to get that quarterback right. They really want to. And since they traded back and got some extra picks, they can sell that to the fan base of being, hey, look at these picks we got, guys, and we got another quarterback.
Maybe
we did the opposite. We traded back to get a quarterback instead of trading up. Yeah, but it still doesn't fix the problem.
No, Davis Mills is not going to be the answer for anybody. Frankly, I'm not a Davis Mills fan.
I'm not that high on him either. But I mean, he fits their mold. So like, I get it. I get why they want him. And I just
both see failure quarterbacks.
and I just see them pulling the trigger again too early, like they've done with every other quarterback they've drafted, pulling the trigger way too early.
Makes sense.
But it's what they do, and it's what they want. But moving on to some smart moves with the Packers. See, I still got Tevin Jenkins on my board.
It's got to be Tevin Jenkins for them then.
Yeah, it's Tevin Jenkins for the Packers, and I think that fixes your little problem with them.
It helps. Doesn't fix.
Help. They're going. I'm terrible with names, so I'm bad with names. But they've got a guy that filled in for Lindsley last year that was really good at
Elgton
center.
Jenkins is solid. He is.
And then you just add Tevin Jenkins in there. And then
it helps. Lindsley's just so freaking good that it doesn't.
I know. I get it. But it patches things up, and you may not like what I have them picking later, but I think it also helps.
Okay, it makes it more palatable. I'll give it that.
What do you got the Packers doing?
So I have Green Bay sitting here. It's a little bit too early to select some of the offensive linemen left on my board. I would have sent them to Tevin Jenkins if he was still there. Don't get me wrong.
No, yeah.
But it's a little bit too early for some of the offensive linemen.
Like Wyatt Davis.
It's really, it's a little early. So I have them.
Sorry.
No, I love Wyatt Davis too. Don't get me wrong.
And I think the idea Wyatt of Davis him going to the Packers, but
no, he's going to be an excellent offensive lineman for whoever grabs him. But I have Green Bay moving out of the first. They're going to move back just a little ways with the Jets.
Okay.
So because the Jets have a lot of picks to kill. So I have Green Bay trading pick 29 and pick 173 to the New York Jets for pick 34 and pick 86.
Okay. Yeah. So they get second and third for their first and a fifth. Yeah. Dope.
Yeah.
That's some pretty good value for the Packers right there, actually. And then what do the
So
Jets do here?
I have the Jets moving up because the Jets want to make sure that they have the maximum shiny new toys for their new quarterback and Zach Wilson. And I have them snagging Terrence Marshall Jr. because they want. So I think they think Corey Davis is going to be a wide receiver one, but I think deep down they know he's not gonna, and he needs a running mate. They have a nice wide receiver room, but they don't have any standout wide receiver one guys. Corey Davis is the closest, and he's best as a running mate. So you grab him, another guy who's similar, has a similar type ceiling, just another 1-2 punch. Give him Terrence Marshall Jr.
The only thing with Terrace Marshall Jr. is that he did have some injury problems.
He did, but they can afford it. They can afford the injury problems because they do have a deep room.
No, and that's
They do.
that is fair. That is fair. They could take the chance.
Yeah. So
Um,
I think they're sitting there at the top of the second and they're like, we don't know if he's going to make it past these next few picks. We don't know. Maybe somebody else moves up for him. Let's just go ahead and go get him. We have all these other picks. Why not?
yeah.
Why not?
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying it could not work out.
Yeah.
But what do you got for the Bills?
Bills. So originally, again in my almost final mock draft that I did, I had them picking Rousseau here. But then all the reports came out, that they were zeroing in on Travis Etienne, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna give him Travis Etienne. It makes sense. I had sent them a running back in the second round originally, so I was like, go ahead and do it here. Why not?
No, yeah. I'm exactly the same, mostly because of those um reports. I was actually on board with the Bills moving up for an edge or just staying put and getting an edge. I thought that,
Mm-hmm.
that was going to be a thing they did. But I do remember when we were talking about the running backs, we even said that this was a chance and how amazing that would be for them.
It
I
would.
I think this is I think it's beautiful that the Bills saw that they could get Travis Etienne and are all like, yeah, yeah, let's go get Travis Etienne.
You can pick a running back at the end of the first, and I won't hate it.
Exactly.
So Etienne was my running back one. So I mean, getting RB1 and pick 30, that's pretty good.
No, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Um, and I've actually got another trade alert.
Oh boy.
So I do think the Ravens do trade back with the 31st pick. It
Okay.
it makes sense. And just like how you said the Jets want to get their new QB a shiny toy, well the Dolphins want to get their QB a shiny new toy, whether that is Tua or maybe even Brissett. But I'm assuming they're doing this for Tua in mind. But we're both kind of on the same page that we think Brissett's going to win the job eventually. So this is
Please.
so this is eventually going to be for Jacoby Brissett. But I have them giving Baltimore now. I hear me out here. So the 47th and the 50th. They want to keep the 36 for another reason I'll say later. For the 31st, and Baltimore gives up their late third.
Okay.
So it's basically just two pick swaps. They move back with one and move up with the other.
Okay.
And Dolphins basically move up to snag Kadarius Toney.
Oh, that would be something.
Because
If
because
if
because you've
Tua
got
fails with those weapons, woohoo,
like
I'm gonna want Tua's head.
yeah, yeah. So you've got Tampa Bay, you've got Jacksonville, you've got the Jets in mind. I know Jets for you already grabbed a wide receiver. Um, but you've got those three dudes, and on my board, Kadarius Toney is the next person. Like I
Go
know that
for
this
it.
is the draft network, but also on my personal board. Like I think Kadarius Toney goes in front of people like Terrace Marshall and I mean I think we've got kind of the same. I mean I don't have Elijah Moore ahead of Bateman and Toney, but moving on, we've got kind of like the same order of things.
Fair.
I do really feel like Kadarius Toney is the next best up, and I think the Bucks are primed to grab Kadarius Toney if the Dolphins don't do this.
For sure. For sure.
You okay?
Yeah. I just had a burp.
Oh, heard. All right. Well, what do you think they're gonna do with the 31st overall pick that they got? Oh, that they got from the Kansas City Chiefs from the Orlando Brown Jr. trade,
Yeah, I can't forget that.
which I called, by the way, not called it to the Chiefs, but literally the day that it happened, I was working on a mock draft, and I was literally mocking the Ravens to trade OBJ to the Washington football team for
You had
swap.
it happening draft day. You
Yeah.
had it happening draft day though.
Well, I mean, because
Who
there was
called what day it was going to happen? Who called what day it was going to happen?
you called it. You
I
called it
did.
once the reports came out that it
No,
was heating
no.
up.
I said no. I said the week before that it was going to happen either exactly a week or
Oh
right around a week before the draft. I told you, and then all the reports came out, and I called you, and I was like, "Look, it's going to happen today. I'm feeling it," and
no,
that's
no,
what
that's
happened.
that's fair. That's fair. I hadn't heard anything about it, so I was afraid that the Ravens were going to wait super long and wait until draft night. But I'm glad that they pulled the trigger because they did get some good value for him. I think both sides won in this situation, by the way. And when both sides win, I think it's okay to trade to a competitor because since you come out on top as well, you can try and use that to stay competitive with that competitor.
Yeah, because they might fix their issues another way. So why not? Why not benefit from them fixing their issues? So you both stay on the same
Yeah,
trajectory.
exactly. Here
So
at 31 for me, they could pick Alex Leatherwood, they could pick Samuel Cosme, Eichenberg. They could move back and still get any of those dudes probably. Like they could have moved up and gotten some other dudes like Tevin Jenkins. But yeah, but what do you got for the Ravens?
so I also considered having the Ravens trade out. I had them trade out in most of my mocks that I did. But I was sitting here and they Aziz Ojulari, I just can't have him fall out of the first. I give him Aziz Ojulari. I'm a big fan of him. Go ahead and get your edge. Don't worry about trading back. It's fine. If you want to, you can trade up with some of those picks you got. Trade into the second if you want later. I don't have them doing that personally, but maybe they do. Go ahead, get your top edge, get a top wide receiver. Yes.
No, yeah,
That's what they need to do.
I think there's a couple of more holes that they want to fill, which is the reason why they want two second rounders, and then and yeah, I'll get to that once we get there. But no, I mean I wouldn't complain about them going Tony and Ojolari. I wouldn't
Should
complain at all.
be lovely for
I
them.
mean Ojolari's still on my board too, so if they don't trade back Bateman and Ojolari, I'll take that as well. I'll take that all day, every day.
Yeah. But then for the next pick, Tampa. So Tampa can do a lot of things here. Considered sending them a QB. Don't think they do it because I don't think they want to piss off Brady. I do have them going QB later. Not going to tell you who it is yet, but I do have them going QB in the second round. So I think they get another piece so Brady doesn't get triggered, so to speak. Almost sent them Rondell Moore. It's this close. But I ended up sending them Gregory Rousseau.
Okay.
Gregory Rousseau can learn behind JPP, Shaq Barrett, and all those other stellar pieces they got in the front seven over there. And in a few years, they can phase JPP out, let Gregory Rousseau come in, become the monster that he's fully capable of becoming. And then when Brady leaves in a few years, defense is the identity. You just have maybe an average QB, which I think the guy that I had send them in the second round is fully capable of becoming, if not better than that. You create a legacy that Brady leaves behind of this great defense, this great culture, and they continue to be a contender long after Brady has left. And that's what the mark that Brady leaves on the league is. I created a contender with only the last few years of my career. I built something and they lasted.
No, I would 100% agree with that. I think yeah, I think that's entirely what Tom Brady most likely wants to do here in Tampa. Because I think that would also be another middle finger to Bill Belichick, which I think at this point in both of their careers, they're just trying to one up each other.
Yeah,
Which again, which
honestly,
is
yeah.
which is why I think Bill Belichick goes gets Justin Fields because he knows he needs a quarterback.
I hope we get to see Brady play the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
I
That'd be
don't,
kind
I
of
don't, I don't,
lit.
I don't.
The storylines, though.
Yeah, the storylines, but I don't. The Buccaneers are going to become the dominant force in the NFC for the next couple of years, and then if the Patriots become dominant again, I'm probably going to shoot myself.
At least it's a different Patriots. At least it's not the same old, same old.
Yeah,
Fresh faces. Fresh faces. That's worth
but
something.
I've got the Bucks going Jalen Phillips for basically the same reasons. Gregor Rousseau is already off my board. I know Jalen Phillips is falling because of the concussions and the injury concern. But again, like in Tampa, they don't have to use him as much right now and kind of ease him into it and maybe get his resistance back up to it and maybe learn how to. I mean, I know you can't completely negate getting a concussion, but like maybe he can learn some ways of falling or some ways of doing things where it can be a lot less where
Dangerous.
exactly. And
Bruce Arians takes care of his players.
that too.
That's a good spot for him to land. Bruce Arians will make sure he's taken care of. And if the Buccaneers take him, I think that's a little bit of an endorsement of his health and what they
Exactly.
think.
Exactly. Exactly. I think the same thing, and I think that they're not going to be that like I know the reports are bad, but I do also I mean again this is just a gut feeling, so like it's not for sure, but I think that he might have been a little hyperbolic about him saying that he's only one concussion away from retirement.
Yeah.
I think that was either
I hope
hyperbolic
that's
or
true.
take huh.
I hope that's true, that's hyperbole, because he will get one more concussion in the next few years. It's
Oh
going
yeah,
to happen.
oh yeah, yeah, but
So hopefully he gets to have a long career because he could be a special player. And I
no.
don't want to see yet another special player's career ruined by concussions. I don't want to see it.
No, yeah, yeah. It's a terrible thing to witness. All right, guys. Sorry about that. We Joel reminded me we wanted to take a little break between the rounds, so sorry if that cut is a little harsh. But we're gonna continue on into this bad boy and get into this second round here, and I'm gonna kick things off with the Jacksonville Jaguars, top of the second, taking Alex Leatherwood. They
We're in
need,
line again.
huh?
We're in line again.
Yeah, yeah. They need to protect their assets. And the
Yes, they
best
do.
asset that they just got, Trevor Lawrence.
Mr. Lawrence. Yes, they need to do that for sure. That's what I have him doing, Leatherwood. They got to do it. I mean, he's probably the best lineman here. Just go ahead, take it. I mean, Wyatt Davis might be the best. Landon Dickerson might be the best, but this is the safest. No injury issues. They don't really need interior terribly much. They need a solid tackle, protect their new guy back there.
Exactly.
Just do it. If Leatherwood makes it out of the first round, you got to take him here. Got
Yeah,
to do it.
100%. Easy peasy. But again, we got two different dudes picking here. So what do you got for the Packers?
I have them taking Rondale Moore. They don't like to take weapons in the first, as I've been enlightened. So part of their trading back plan is so they can stay in line with that, acquire some extra picks, and not feel bad about taking the weapon. They like taking wide receivers in the second with Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson. Rondale Moore fits perfectly into that mold of that little slot speedy
Yeah,
receiver type. He's could be a clone of those two gentlemen. So
I could
it
to-
just makes so much sense here.
I could totally see them doing that. Obviously, I've got the Jets here though, and I think it's finally time for Aziz Ojolari to get his due. I think he goes to the
Okay, good.
Jets. I think
Yeah,
that's a good fit for him. Robert Sala would love to have Ojolari.
yeah, you would.
Like
Yeah, you would.
that is just a real nice fit right there, I believe. Um, but I'm actually going to continue on this edge train, and go Falcons, they're going to go Jason Oweh.
That's what I have him doing too.
Oh,
That's what I
wow.
got him.
Okay. I mean, makes
Yeah,
sense.
it makes a lot of sense for them. They've been bit in the butt by too many other injuries with their defensive linemen. Don't take any risks with injury-prone guys. Just take a solid edge. You don't need a super stellar guy. Just get a guy. He's going to get you 6 sacks a year. He's going to be solid. Just get it over with.
Yeah.
Solid pick at the top of the second round.
Yep, 100%. But what do you got for the Dolphins? Now, I personally have them having an extra first rounder, so you're kind of down a pick compared to me.
Yeah. This is where I have them grabbing their edge. They take Mr. Jalen Phillips. Keep him in Miami. Keep him in Miami. Miami is a team that can afford to take the risk of Jalen
That's also
Phillips
fair.
because they
Yes.
are fairly stacked. They don't need to rely on him. Their secondary is something special
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
So they can afford to be a little bit lackluster on the front end, give him some time, rotate him in, develop his in. They also aren't really that scared of injury prone people. I mean, if they were, they wouldn't have taken Tua last year. So can't argue that with them.
No, yeah.
It makes a lot of sense for them. They're going to take the most talented person on the board, who is most likely Jalen Phillips here.
100%. I have Jalen Phillips going to the Bucks though, and they also already solved their edge with Queedy Pay. And the reason why I was saying earlier that I think they want to keep the 36th pick is because of this particular person right here in Jamin Davis. If
That'd be
they
some.
if they figure out their wide receiver, their edge, and running back all in the first round, they've got Jamin Davis on their board.
They got to.
Like,
They got to. They can take anything they want. Linebacker is the next need, probably, I would guess. Go ahead and do it. Get Jamin Davis. He's going to be a stellar linebacker.
100%. Yeah, no, I think that'd be very, very good for the Dolphins. And again, the Dolphins wouldn't want that linebacker falling any further. I mean, there's a couple of teams like I think the Panthers, the Broncos, um, maybe even the 49ers and the Boys, maybe even they could stretch and grab a linebacker. So just staying here at 36 and making sure you get that linebacker, and then you can chill. You can chill until your next pick in the third round, I believe. You can chill being happy with your first 4 picks.
4 picks in the top 36 picks.
Insane.
That's almost unheard of.
No, yeah. And like I told you, they're playing Madden, dude. They're playing Madden. Like
Go
and
for it.
and this is
That's what I always do in Madden in my franchise modes. I get as many picks in those top 36 picks as you can get. I mean, me and my brother usually run a franchise every year, and I try to get like 3 top 10 picks every year. Just take all the top prospects every year. Get it over with. Try to do it. Trade all my other picks. They're all garbage. They're all going to be 67 overalls. Get the good guys.
yeah, yeah, no, 100%. But continuing on, so we got the Eagles for me, and we got the Steelers for you. For me, I think the Eagles stay here and they grab their corner, Eric Stokes.
Solid. Solid. Can't go wrong with that one. Not much to explain. They need a corner. Go ahead, take
Yeah,
care of it. For me, Pittsburgh being here, this is their first pick for me. And I think they need to go O-line. I almost wanted to give them a running back here in Javonte Williams. Almost. But I think it's a little early for Javonte Williams. So I send them Landon Dickerson. They lost all their identity along that O-line. They're all
yeah,
gone.
no,
All the old regime gone. They're all retired. They all left. That O-line has been the same for many, 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 many years. So it's time to get what Landon Dickerson is fully capable of doing as long as injuries don't derail him. And taking him in the second, not a huge risk.
no,
So if he can come in there and create that new offensive line identity, be that new leader to form the new era on the O-line, it'd be just perfect.
no, yeah, no.
Much as I don't like the Steelers and I love Dickerson,
hate
it just it makes sense, and I'd be happy for him to land there because he could really do something there.
And obviously I also hate the Steelers. So the Steelers. I didn't like the Steelers when I was a Texas fan. I definitely don't now.
Yep.
Um, but I mean, that's a good pick for them. I do like Dickerson. Like I said earlier, I do see Dickerson in Pittsburgh, but it also could, end kind of badly for them. Which
Could. That's the way it goes.
no, it is.
They
But
picked up some extra picks though, so I mean, you take the risk on what's the best offensive lineman here who could really create something for you. And if he doesn't work out, you spend a second on him.
100%. No,
Well,
yeah. No. In this scenario, trading back, getting some extra value, and then taking Dickerson, not terrible. But with the Bengals, I'm pretty sure we got different here because we were completely different in the first.
yeah, no, I give the Bengals their weapon here. I give them Pat Freiermuth. I love Freiermuth. The Bengals like having a tight end. They had Eifert for many years, and he actually had injury issues as well, like Freiermuth has. So they're not too terribly scared of it. Freiermuth he can be weapon numero uno. He can do it. He's fully capable. Grabbing him in the second here, where I fully believe he's a first round talent, would be excellent for the Bengals.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And he also helps block.
Yeah.
He also helps protect your guy, so you can't go wrong.
No, yeah. I mean, obviously I had them pick Jamar Chase, so they don't really have the luxury to go Pat Freiermuth. So I'm going Samuel Cosme.
Solid pick.
Yeah, it just makes
Solid.
sense to me. But here at the Panthers, I want to say yes. Here at 39, I've got a trade alert.
Oh boy.
So I have a very interesting trade. So there was kind of like how I said earlier, where the Eagles are looking to ship Ertz somewhere. I think they ship him here to the Panthers,
Okay.
which, funnily enough, is the same person I wanted to ship him to in the first round. But I think it makes sense. Like
Yeah.
they need they need a dude, and you know what? The Eagles can never have too many picks. I do think that with some of these later rounds, they're going to bundle them and move up, or bundle them and grab some more stuff net for next year. I think that's where they're going to be aggressive as well. But here in particular, they're going to send Ertz, and I believe their sixth next year. So they send their
Ertz
sixth,
in a sixth.
huh?
Ertz in a sixth next year. Okay.
Yeah, for this. And Ertz, again, I'm just going to do that so that, I can just do that so that it goes through.
Okay.
But yeah,
Solid.
Ertz and a sixth next year to just take their second. Now, they could sweeten the pot a little bit more, maybe give them a fourth or a fifth. Um, but as you see here, the Panthers are lacking on all the picks next year, so I think they would be happy with almost any picks next year.
Probably.
On top of getting their a tight end.
Yeah. They need some veterans too. That's a very young team they got going
Yes,
on over there.
yes. And what I have the Eagles jumping all the way up here to do, you see these people coming up. There's some NFC East people coming up, and they're gonna be drafting some edges. I think they want to make sure they get their guy in Joseph Osai.
Okay. I like it.
I really like Osai, and I think Osai fits really well in Philadelphia. I know it might be weird seeing him. I mean, I know this draft board has Joe Tryon and Basham and Turner and Perkins ahead. I do like all those dudes. I don't think Joe Tryon should be that high, though.
A
Um,
little high for him. Yeah.
yeah. But I do think they have their eye on Joseph Osai, and there could be an edge run here, and they want to get ahead of
Very
it.
short. They're a team poised to do that. They need to dump Ertz. Ertz is very unhappy camper, so
That too, yep.
it makes sense.
And they stack up their defense with a corner and an edge.
Yep, I like it. I like it.
What do you got the Panthers doing though at 39, or do you have them trading out as well?
No, I have them staying put and taking Cosme. Pick after
Oh,
where you had him.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
all right, cool. Yeah, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. They need some tackle help. What do you got the Broncos doing now? They picked a Q. They actually we both had them pick Trey Lance in the first. So who do you got to pair with Trey Lance?
Here's Jamin Davis. Here he is, landing with Denver, helping that defense. He's gonna be a good player. Denver gets a steal, frankly, here
Yeah.
in Jamin Davis.
Now,
It's
oh, sorry.
this is how you keep a good defense is good, is by picking a player like this in the second round.
Yeah. And I actually also have them going linebacker. Now again, they have Baron Browning super high. I don't I don't personally agree with that. Maybe he goes super high, but I think they go Nick Bolton here. I think the Broncos would go Bolton because they
I
did.
actually had them pick Nick Bolton here in one of my mock drafts
Yeah,
where I had Jamin Davis going earlier. Yeah,
yeah,
Nick Bolton also fits them very well. I almost sent them Nick Bolton anyways. He might be a better scheme fit than Jamin Davis,
yeah.
but Jamin Davis is just too good.
He
I
he he
can't
he is.
quite.
I almost don't see a way that somebody picks Bolton over Davis.
Yeah,
So
that's why.
I get Davis there, but I like the Dolphins getting so many things and just being able to go back and go. We'll pick that best player right there.
No, and that would be beautiful too. So
But moving on to the Lions, I've got the Lions chilling here, and here is actually where I think they get a weapon. They get Terrace Marshall. They go with Terrace Marshall Jr.
okay, he could fall that far because of those injury concerns. I could see it.
And
And
they do
the
want to
Lions
see
aren't.
what they have in golf, so they want to give him something.
He's got to have something because he ain't got nothing right now. So
Yeah.
that would make some sense. I personally sent them Eric Stokes.
Okay.
They need they need cornerback help
I mean,
desperately.
they need basically everything, so
That is also fair. Eric Stokes is kind of like that jack of all trades with his speed. He can kind of play anything in the secondary. He's got special teams upside. Could be a returner possibly. He just kind of fills a lot of roles, and Detroit's trying to maximize its picks that it has right now.
yes.
Next year is really where they have all the picks.
Yeah.
So just maximize right now. Grab Eric Stokes. Grab that speed. He fits well.
100%. Um but moving on to the Giants, another one of the guys you like.
Not quite. Don't quite like them, but I don't hate them either. They're the one in the NFC. They're I'm relatively indifferent towards them. I've never seen them as a real threat
Oh, I
since their
thought you were
Super
like
Bowl
that with
win.
Washington.
Well, I am like that. Washington, I actually almost like, which is kind of weird coming from a Cowboys fan. I respect Washington.
Okay, okay.
Giants, I don't really like or dislike. I don't root for them because they're in the NFC East, obviously. But it's just kind of like, yeah,
No,
you guys aren't a threat.
the boys and
If they
Eagles are
become a
definitely a
threat again, I
bigger.
can hate them. Yeah, if the Giants become a threat again, then I can hate them again. But right now it's like whatever. But I send them Joe Tryon here.
Did we
It's a,
did we just become best friends? I'm just kidding.
no,
I
we're
also
already that.
yeah no
Just
no no yeah
become.
yeah. I'm just messing. It the Step Brothers reference.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
But yeah, I also so I know I just said I don't think Tryon it should be that high, but I feel like the Giant. I mean, he also fits there. I like him there, but I also feel like the Giants could buy into that hype.
Giants always buy into the hype. Always have, always will. Especially as long as Gentleman's running things. He buys into the hype every time.
Now,
He's doing it right now with Micah Parsons.
I mean,
No reason to believe why he won't do it again. If he doesn't get Micah Parsons, he'll buy into the other hype beast,
yeah,
Joe Tryon.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I completely agree with that too. And then I was here with the 49ers, and I was at a loss. I was at a loss for words because I think the Mac Jones thing is real bothering me. I don't understand it. But I was looking at their needs, and they could go edge here 100%. They could go interior O line. They could maybe even snag Wyatt Davis. But I had them go corner. I had them actually go Aaron Robinson. And the reason why is because I think they're going to want to replace Richard Sherman. Because
Fair assessment.
Sherman's gone. And I mean, I don't remember. I don't think the 49ers have another pick for a while. So I think a lot of those other corners are going to be gone, possibly. Or if they are still there in the beginning of the third, there's going to be a lot of trades up. If like Asante Samuel and if Yatu fall there, there's going to be a lot of trades up. And I don't know if the 49ers can keep up, especially with them already giving up so much.
Fair. 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 But because of San Francisco's lack of picks, especially next year is where it looks to be sketchy. I think they're looking to trade back here. They don't have a ton of needs. So I have them moving back just a little ways with the Raiders.
Okay.
So having the Raiders move up. Raiders send pick 48 and a 2022 fourth rounder. Because next year is where they got the lack of picks, so they want to pick next year.
Yeah.
2022 fourth rounder for pick 43 from San Francisco.
So 2 second and a fourth for 43.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense. Checks out.
So, and the reason I have the Raiders trading up is because the Raiders do like those big boy defensive linemen, and I did not send them a big boy athletic defensive lineman in the first round. So I think they want that now, and they pick Levi Onwuzurike. I think I got the name right. They're scared of them not being able to get him because honestly, he's a guy Dallas has been somewhat targeting. So they just leap right over Dallas, go snag him, and he's so talented that he could go any one of those next few picks before they get him.
100.
Just
yeah.
give up an extra fourth. Make sure you get your guy.
That's fair. That's 100% fair. But moving on to your team now. Back to your team. What do you got the Cowboys doing here?
Okay, so I do send them. This may be a little bit of me fanboying over a prospect and sending them to my favorite team, but I absolutely love Carlos Boogie Basham Jr. and I send him to Dallas. Dallas loves having 3 pass rushers. This is what they've been trying to do for all of time, and they've wanted Randy Gregory to be a part of that 3. And Randy Gregory's not been out there, and he's finally gonna be out there next season. Fingers crossed. So they get Boogie Basham to be the number 3 pass rusher, and he offers versatility. DeMarcus Lawrence also kicks in sometime. He can play on that side. He can also stand up a little bit, play some linebacker in some schemes. Dan Quinn likes to have a linebacker like that. Linebacker defensive end hybrid. So he makes a lot of sense for them here. Also, there's the added benefit that he'll get to play with his cousin in Terrell Basham.
Okay,
who
yeah.
Dallas just signed this offseason.
That's fair.
So they clearly like the Bashams.
That's fair.
Get
That's
the both
fair.
of them, have the fun storylines.
Yep. No, totally agree. Except I personally have them getting that big boy D lineman that you sent to the Raiders because for me, the Raiders already got their big boy D lineman in Levi Onwuzurike.
I think that's the pick if the Raiders don't move up.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, no. I think Dan Quinn really likes his big D lineman, and I think he's going to change the identity a little bit of that Cowboys defense. And it needs something.
It needs it.
Yeah.
Lord knows it needs it.
Lord knows it needs it. But yeah, no, 100%. I think that would be a real and honestly, Levi falling this far back, that would be a steal for the Cowboys.
Yeah, being able to grab Certain and Levi, you just rewrote the entire defense. Maybe you're talking about not top 10 defense. That's too high. But you're talking about an average to above average defense here by adding those two and filling probably your 2 biggest holes at corner and interior defensive line. And that's just, you can't go wrong going 1-2 on your biggest needs in the first and second round.
100%. And then I've got the Jaguars here. Now, you had the Jaguars pick a wide receiver earlier, I believe.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Rashad Bateman because the Eagles took Um,
Madrid.
yeah, but I have them going Rondale Moore here. The reason why
Okay.
is because there was a thing I saw, a report that I saw that Rondale Moore had a Zoom call with the Jaguars. That was one of the teams that he had personally talked to. And I saw some other things on some Jaguar sites that they really like Rondale Moore. So I think right here, I think they go Ron. I think they get their guy.
He's considered at pick 33, frankly. He's got to be.
Honestly, yeah, I do believe that, but I also think that they also know that they might be able to get away with going this far back, and if they have a feeling that a team is might snag them, like maybe the Lions are thinking of taking Rondale Moore, they have the ammo to just go, oh no, we're gonna move up in front of you.
Yeah, exactly.
But
100%.
I didn't want to
I like
lock
that.
that because that's I would have to have a lot more connections to
Than
even
what you got right
remotely
now.
think about doing something like that. So I think that Rondell Moore just falls to the Jaguars. But I think the Jaguars try to get him no matter what in the second.
Fair.
Uh,
I actually sent Rondell Moore to the Jaguars with them trading up for him in one of my final mock drafts when I didn't give them Rondell Moore. I mean, I'm sorry,
Rashad Bateman.
Rashad Bateman
Yeah.
in the first,
No,
but
yeah, no.
Rashad Bateman fills the need, so it's fine.
Of course.
But
But
for me, this is where the Jaguars get their safety, and they pick probably the second best safety as the NFL sees it in this class, in Javon Holland. Some people even have him as safety one. So being able to snag him all the way back here at 45, that's something of a steal.
yes.
And I almost made them pick Jamar Johnson anyways, just because of the size thing. So it could go either way,
Yeah.
frankly. They could go either one. They kind of need help at both safety spots.
Yeah.
But I think they follow the general trend that Javon Holland is the second best safety in this class, so to speak.
That's fair. That's fair. But what do you got the Panthers doing here?
So they got this one from New England in
Yes.
the trade up in mind. So Carolina here drafts linebacker and Jabril Cox.
That is really funny because I have the Patriots grabbing Jabril Cox.
Well, we got him in the same slot.
That is
So
weird. That is
that's fun. That's fun. I
But
like that.
but yeah, no, I think Jabril Cox is the next best linebacker. And me personally, I think he really fits in New England. I think the Panthers. I think he could fit really well in the Panthers. And I know on mine they gave up a corner, so it might be tempting to go corner here, like Joseph or Sante Samuel or something. But
Mm-hmm.
being this late, and the Patriots also have ammo to shoot, and they could, like, if, like, let's say they're really high on Ifiatu, right? They could move up if they think Ifiatu is going to go somewhere.
Yeah, they can afford to address corner a little bit later, especially since they still have J.C. Jackson on the team.
Exactly,
So
and if they still miss out, like, it's like, okay, we just try again next year.
and don't forget they still have a little bit of cap space left.
Yeah,
They could be dark horses for someone like Richard Sherman,
that
who's
that
still on the market. They like bringing in those ringer star corners when they're older.
that
Don't forget
that
about Darrell Revis.
that is
They
also fair.
like
They could
doing that.
just not draft corner at all and be like, we're gonna sign Richard Sherman.
Yeah,
I
no, it
mean,
would make some sense.
that makes a lot of sense. But here, so I this is a weird trade that somehow the Ravens got the 47th overall. If y'all remember following me, the Dolphins got the 47th overall from the Chargers, and then they shipped the 47th overall and the 50th overall to the Ravens. So here, so there's a couple of things that they could do here. I like Eichenberg here. I even like Wyatt Davis here as well. I think they could go either of those routes if they don't think that they're going to be able to sign both of those O linemen, Villanueva and Kelly. I think they could sign both of them. So me personally, I don't think they need to worry about O line just yet. I do think that they should focus on O line in the third round, 100%. get some depth there, do it. But right now, their pressing needs are edge or safety after they got wide receiver. So I think they're going edge and they
Okay.
go Boogie Basham.
There he is.
Because
So you
also the
gave him to your
Ravens
favorite
love
team.
their nicknames too. The Ravens do love their nicknames. Hollywood Brown, Boogie Basham.
Okay. Hey, as good a reason as any when you're mocking.
No,
It's
no,
as
no.
good a reason as
Sorry,
any.
no. I'm saying they like that, but no. Basham has been linked to the Ravens quite some. Looking at
No,
some of the
that's
Ravens
true.
stuff, they like Carlos Basham if they don't get an edge in the first. And I've even seen some people saying that they should grab him with their 31st overall, depending on what edges are there.
And yeah, there might be a run on edges beforehand, and there may not be a wide receiver that they like there still. So maybe they go that, or maybe they trade back slightly from 31, just a little bit, and then grab him at the beginning of the second, something like that.
Yeah,
That that's pretty solid.
100%. I do think like if they miss on like Ojulari and Rousseau, I mean, they may not even want Rousseau over Basham, but like a couple of those other higher, edges, if those guys are gone, Basham, dude.
Yeah,
Basham. And also,
just
like
do
I
it.
said earlier, they're really good at developing defensive players. Just think about how good Basham could be on that defense.
He could. He really could be really good. He could replace Judon. He fits that Judon exactly,
Exact.
and that's perfect.
Don't have to
But for
overpay
me,
for
the pick
Judon and just replace him in the draft.
with similar production, that's how you do it. That's how good teams stay good. Like I said with another thing earlier, it's good teams stay good by replacing the overpaid veterans with similar talent in the draft.
Yes, 100%. But you've got Chargers here,
So
and they picked.
yeah, they stayed. So they went Rashawn Slater in my first round.
Yeah,
So they're not looking at O line. Now they go over to the defense. They're looking at edge, and they go Joseph Osai here. It's a little late for Osai to go, but I think some of those other edges have higher upsides and better potential. He's just a pretty middle of the road type guy.
yeah,
This is a good spot for him in the middle of the second. LA needs to replace Melvin Ingram and get a just solid guy to be opposite Joey Bosa. They've got their star already.
yeah.
So Osai slides in nicely as a second rushing option.
100%. Uh, no, I completely agree with that. And I like Joseph Osai, which is why I was okay with like the Eagles like pulling the trigger on him so early. But I mean
That might happen.
but I could definitely see him fall, but I don't. He definitely doesn't get out of the second round. Like he's definitely going
Oh,
middle second round, 100%.
yeah.
Um, but what do you got for the 49ers second pick? I know mine was a little maybe lackluster, but what's yours?
So 49ers move back a little bit in mine, obviously. And they go and they replace Richard Sherman, like in yours, except they go Asante Samuel.
Okay.
They get another loud mouth, another hit him, punch him in the face kind of guy in Asante Samuel. I think he perfectly fills the Richard Sherman void. And he can become a number one corner, even though he's playing from the slot very, very quickly.
Yeah, I just meant like as a fit mechanically. I feel like Aaron Robinson is more of a fit mechanically than Samuel.
That's possible.
But
That is possible.
I mean I wouldn't argue with Asante Samuel to the 49ers. That would also be a very good choice for them.
Yeah.
I have the Raiders here at 48. I have them going O line here because they desperately need to fix it, and I think they go Liam Eichenberg. I think they also really like German names for some reason. There's always those really hard to pronounce German names on the Raiders. I feel like they just got that Gruden grind kind of about them, and I think Liam is one of those. I think he could definitely fit in Gruden's scheme very well.
He would be a Gruden grinder. He would be. That's how he plays.
Exactly.
He's mean, he's nasty. He's going to be a good offensive tackle. So,
But
that's
staying on O lineman, I actually have the Cardinals going. I know we passed on a weapon earlier, but at this point there are others. There are some other good weapons later. Let's protect Kyler Murray. Let's get him Wyatt Davis, probably one of the most like just athletic O lineman. He is so good, and I think him landing here would be a very good spot, especially for the Cardinals.
That's pretty good. I like that. That pick belongs to Dallas in mine because of
Yes.
Arizona's trade up for Waddle in the first round
Yep.
in my draft. So this is where Dallas addressed safety. Finally, for the first time in God knows how long, basically since Darren Woodson, that they finally address safety and they go Jamar Johnson, who can be that hard hitter like they've been missing a hard hitter since literally Darren Woodson. So go
That's
ahead,
fair.
get it done.
That's fair. That's fair.
Get it done. They would I think they also consider Richie Grant here. If Javon Holland is still here, they consider him. But
100%.
with if they get that additional second, they go ahead and go safety, fix the secondary altogether. You can deal with O-line in a little bit. You managed to sign Ty Nishke in the free agency. He's going to be a solid sixth offensive lineman. You can deal with some other developmental guys in a little bit. So this is what you do. You go ahead and get that mean safety finally. Finally.
100. I 100% agree. But what do you got for the Dolphins? So now you're finally catching up with the number of picks I had the Dolphins already have.
Except there's a trade.
Oh, oh, oh!
So Miami trades pick 50 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars move back into the second round with all the ammo that they have, because why not?
Sorry, I cut that a little bit because I messed up. I got them flipped. So this is the right way. The trade will go through now. And then you've got the Jaguars picking who?
Javonte Williams
Who,
to pair
buddy?
with James Robinson, because there's rumors that they want another running back, and getting. So I think James Robinson's just fine personally, but with those reports and Javonte Williams definitely requiring a running mate, and when he has an excellent running mate, he's an excellent back. So pairing him with James Robinson gives them an, I don't want to use the word excellent again, stellar. It gives them a stellar 1-2 punch back there behind Lawrence. And it creates the makings of a top 10 offense
No,
here
it
shortly.
no that is a very very good pick for the Jaguars, and that is something that they should be aggressive in getting, especially if Javonte Williams falls this far. I mean, Javonte Williams is still on my board, but
Yeah.
on to the Ravens again. As you can see on my board, there's a significant lack of safeties going.
Oh boy, here's their safety. Who are they getting?
Javon Holland. Now,
There it is.
I need to clear up something real quick. So I know in our cornerback and safety rankings, I put Jamar Johnson ahead of Javon Holland, and I know I said that Jamar Johnson was a perfect fit for the Ravens. I messed up on one thing. They don't need another box safety. They need a strong, or not a strong, but they need a good free safety. And another thing about the Ravens is they love versatile players.
That's definitely Holland.
I was going to say, what is Holland? Safety and a corner.
Versatile. Oh yeah. No, he's perfect.
Like and again, and also Bookie. Bookie's also versatile. Talking about that, Bookie's and Rashad Bateman. Again, they love versatile dudes. They
They
like
fit the Ravens vibe very well.
yes,
Very well.
100%. And the more I look, and I didn't not like Holland before, but also the more I looked at him too, I was just kind of like, okay, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really like the Ravens doing this, and also I will also state this is not just because I'm a Ravens fan that I didn't have anyone else pick safety. In an original mock draft where I didn't have the Chargers giving their 47th pick to uh, uh, the Dolphins and then thus giving the 47th to the Ravens, I actually had the Chargers picking Javon Holland in the 47th spot, which I
Okay.
think that would be also a really good spot or a really good thing for the Chargers, um, in around that. space because
Uh,
also we're going to Washington, but Washington's also a prime candidate to take a safety, and that's exactly what I'm having them do. I'm having them take Jamar Johnson.
okay, okay,
I
I
think
like it.
I think that could actually be really scary. I
Could be.
They get JOK and Jamar Johnson.
Those are two defense defining players right there when they already have a bunch of them and they
What
fit what the definition of that defense is.
pair these two guys with Chase Young?
Don't forget their other defensive guys, man.
No, I don't. But
Don't.
I'm just Chase Young was just such a baller last year. He came out and made his name known. And
Yeah, and he already had a big name.
no,
I mean,
I'm sorry. I meant
they
in the NFL.
yeah.
In the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
He made sure to remind everyone why he was picked.
Yeah. So they could have a truly special defense over there. Them and the Buccaneers could be the top two defenses in the NFC.
That would be, whoo, buddy boy.
Do
That'd
something.
be real tough to play 2 times a year. I'm glad I don't have to
Okay.
do that. Oh
We got the top
wait.
offense in the NFC, so it's okay. It's okay.
No, I think you missed what I was saying. I was like, I'm glad I don't have to do that. Oh wait.
Yeah, you're about to play the Browns,
Yeah, no,
sucker.
I know. It's a joke.
um,
Sorry. What do you got Washington doing?
so I have them going offensive tackle and Liam Eichenberg. Here he is. I mean, the offensive tackle is a clear need for Washington. If they don't go offensive tackle in the first round, which they very well might, even over someone like JOK, they gotta. To me, they gotta go offensive tackle here. I
Yeah.
get that on your board there wasn't really a guy there that was worth it, so that's why they go safety. But here, Liam Eichenberg is still on the board somehow, so he goes
No. I
easy.
If Liam's there, I think it's a tough. I think it's a tough choice between him and Jamar Johnson. I really do.
Okay. For me, it was one of the fastest clicks that I made in the second round. It was just like, oh, Washington's turn. Oh, it's Eichenberg.
No, yeah, but I'm just not saying that it shouldn't be a quick click because I mean that is almost perfect. But I'm just saying I think they also might value Jamar Johnson pretty highly, especially if Javon Holland and maybe even another safety's already gone. Like maybe somebody
Yeah,
else picks
maybe
somebody.
Richie Grant.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
like I could actually honestly see the Saints doing another move up to try and get somebody like that. Again, fix
yeah,
their secondary like what you had the Cowboys do.
yeah. I could
But
see.
moving on to the Bears. The Bears. What do you got them doing?
Okay, so I have them making the same pick that you had them make in the first round, and they get Davis Mills here. I almost had them move up to nearly every pick in the second round. I would just look at it, and the value wasn't quite right, a little bit too far. I was like, nah, and the teams were like, nah. So I just left it alone, left it alone, left it alone, and there he was still sitting there. So I was like, this is it.
This
This
this is their time.
this is where they snag the next bust for them at quarterback. So I think this might be the biggest disparity between any one prospect that we have in this draft. Me and you, you having him go in the first round, and me having him go towards the end of the second.
Well,
But that's just
see, I don't.
no. I know. I'm not saying you're higher on him than me.
Okay.
Saying,
I just want to make that clear for anybody who might be watching the second round after the first one and not remembering that I wasn't saying that the Bears should take Davis Mills at 28. I
it just
think
seems
they
like a likely
will.
move, and they might honestly pick him at 20. Frankly, I would not be overly surprised. It'd just be like, yeah, that's the Bears for you. That is the Bears for you. So,
Well,
but
I have them doing
this is
something.
best case scenario for Bears fans in that they don't make any stupid moves and they just waste a second on this guy because that's not the end of the world.
But I actually got them doing a maybe even a thing that maybe fans would like even less, and I've got them trading out.
Trading out of the second.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Javante Williams is still there, and Jaguars got a lot of ammo.
Oh, you have them trading up for Javante Williams too. I like it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just think it fits. Uh, so did I have this one already done? I think this might have been one that I decided on after. Yeah. Okay. So I think like maybe like okay. I mean,
Jaguars send a
they're
third.
later fourth,
Yeah, that's probably pretty good.
and the Bears might even take that just as is. Yeah.
No, they need something else. Do a pick swap
Okay.
of
I'll do
next
like a
year.
I'll do like give them a six next year for their
Do a fifth and a sixth. So
fifth. Yeah.
Bears send a sixth, Jaguars send a fifth next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Yeah. I don't want to be too biased against the Bears. It's not like my entire dad's side of the family are Packers fans or anything.
Yeah,
It's not
gotta
like
you gotta
I've
keep the
also
biases out of the mocks, man. You gotta keep the biases out.
no. That's fair. That's fair. I've seen the Bears do some real dumb stuff.
Everyone's seen it. I think even Bears fans know they're dumb. So
It's so
gotta be
sad.
real
It's
delusional
so
to
sad.
believe otherwise.
But what isn't
So,
sad is the Jaguars taking Javante Williams here. Fantastic, fantastic. Uh, fantastic value here. At 52,
absolutely.
moving up, they sacrificed. Uh, 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 they moved up with their third, sacrificed a late fourth, and pick swapped late rounds.
They have all the picks. So do it. Do it for your man.
Yeah, yeah. It was an almost no brainer to me that
This is the point of all those trades they've been making for all these years, is so that they can do moves like this, so they can move up. That's the whole point of trading all those players that they did when they shipped out Jalen Ramsey and they shipped out Ngakwe. This is the point of you accumulating all these picks for all these years.
exactly. And guess what? You get to reload.
Yeah.
But moving on to the Titans. I've got them finally addressing corner here. I got them going Kelvin Joseph.
Okay. I like it. I like it. I also have them addressing corner, but in a different way. I have them going Aaron Robinson here,
Oh, okay. I
because
mean,
their entire secondary has been absolutely decimated. They let all of them leave, so they need a guy that can play literally every spot, and Aaron Robinson is the definition of that. He
no.
can play safety, he can play corner, he can play linebacker if you need him to. He can do anything. So I like the Aaron Robinson fit here.
Yeah, to me, I just don't know if the Titans take a shot at Asante Samuel. I think they might want to go for a bigger dude in Kelvin Joseph.
I didn't send him Asante Sendo. I sent him
No,
Aaron Robinson.
no. For my
Oh,
board, Aaron Robinson's not
okay.
on my board.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, Aaron Robinson
Kelvin
already
Joseph
went
is
to
the
the
second one that I
49ers.
sent in. Okay.
Yeah.
Tracking, my bad.
Yeah, no. I was saying for me, that's why I sent Kelvin Joseph to the Titans.
Okay. Yeah, Kelvin Joseph would be the second choice for them. I sent them Kelvin Joseph in a prior mock draft when I had Aaron Robinson going earlier. So
Yeah.
it, yeah, it's a good fit.
But what do you got the Colts doing? Loving picking these teams for all these teams I hate.
The Colts go Peyton Turner here. I almost sent them Kelvin Joseph, but because they went Farley in the first
Yeah.
round instead of Barmore, they don't pick a corner
No.
here. So then I'm looking at edge for them, and Peyton Turner, frankly, just makes the most sense here. I don't think they're going to take a risk on a guy with a drug record, a drug track record with like Ronnie Perkins yet.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
think this is Peyton Turner's spot.
See, but I've got them going O line here. I got them going Dylan Radins.
Okay,
Because,
that's a solid pick.
again, like earlier, how I had stated that they want to. Words. They play it safe in the first round normally. Well, they got Caleb Farley in mind as well. So here is where they play it a little safe.
Yeah,
They
that's the
get a
same reason I
solid.
gave him Turner.
No, yeah,
Same
yeah.
reason I gave him. Yeah,
Play
you got
they
to go
play it
safe.
safe here. 100%.
Yeah.
Now, a team that I don't think plays it safe here in the Steelers, I think they jump on Dickerson now because he's still
Okay.
on my board. I know that means that
Oh
they
dang.
get two O linemen, but Jesus, they need it. They need it.
Yeah, they do. They do need it. I sent them Dickerson earlier, so
Yeah, I mean, if they get Dickerson and AVT, right? I said yeah, AVT,
that almost fixes their decimation. It almost does it,
and I would
frankly.
I
So
think Big Ben would appreciate it.
maybe he can actually stay on his feet this year. That's worth something.
Yeah.
But I have the Steelers getting Big Ben's replacement in Kyle Trask here. I think this is where Trask goes. There's some reports of them zeroing in on him and maybe even going with Trask in the first round. So being able to pick up a guy like Trask in the second round when you're looking for your eventual QB replacement, this is perfect. You can let him sit for a full year behind Big Ben. And if Big Ben gets hurt, he can come in and fill in just fine and then go back to the bench. You let Big Ben have his twilight season. He goes out, however he goes out after this season, probably on his back because he's going to be hurt, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
And then enter Trask era, and it makes sense for the Steelers.
No, it does. It does. I will say this though, they have missed on a couple of later round quarterbacks before, but we'll see if they finally nail it here with Trask for at least on your mock draft.
Yeah, and if he doesn't work out, say he has to play significant time this year and it doesn't work out, that means they're probably not going to do very well, which means that they can move up next year for their quarterback.
Yeah.
And spending a second rounder on a quarterback, that's not a huge
No, it's
investment.
not. It's
So then you
not.
move on just like they moved on from all the other guys.
100%. But what do you got the Seahawks doing here?
This is Wyatt Davis's spot. Seattle needs offensive line. They need to throw Russell Wilson a bone if they have any chance of keeping him next season. So give Russell Wilson what will likely be one of the more quality offensive linemen in this draft. He's going to be solid. He's going to plug and play immediately. Interior offensive line may not be their biggest need, but
they
they
need.
just need offensive line upgrades.
Yeah.
Any quality offensive lineman will assist the Seattle Seahawks. And Wyatt Davis definitely is the definition of that. This is probably even a little late for him.
Yeah.
I almost had to redo it and send him earlier. I liked the Seattle fit so much, and I think he's being slept on. So there's a chance he falls this far, which is why I let it happen.
No, that's fair. I mean, I see it. I see it. But as you see on my mock draft, though, the next O lineman is either Humphrey or Christensen, and I think so. Steeler fans don't hate me, but I think the Seahawks need picks, and I don't think that report is smokescreen. I think they want Kyle Trask, and
Hey,
I think they'll do what it takes to get Kyle. I think I was a late fourth.
like it. I actually had the same exact trade happen before. I just had them go Kyle Trask with their original.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I said them late fourth because I don't think a sixth would do it. No, a six doesn't do it.
yeah, it's yeah.
Would
That's what.
I'm trying to be nice, so I'm saying maybe a day three next year.
Let me see. Do okay. So do a fourth this year, and then do a pick swap of a fourth next year for a later
So
pick.
not the third.
No. I'm sorry. The third, a fourth, and a pick swap
A
because
fourth
they are
this
moving
year
all
and
the
a
way
pick
up
swap
from
next year.
yeah, because they are moving all the way up from 87 to
No.
56.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
quite a
yeah.
large.
I'm trying to be fair because I don't want to be mean to the Steelers. I know I don't like you, but I also do really feel like that they will pursue their guy because they do know Big Ben is literally on his last leg.
Yeah, and this is not a bad trade for them. So have them swap. Uh, do Steelers send a six for Seattle seven?
Boom. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's the move.
Yeah, and then this way Seattle can maybe feel better about taking one of those O linemen later. 'Cause
Yeah,
I do think that they want to go more tackle if they don't get Wyatt Davis. Because I mean, Creed
they could
Humphrey's
maybe go
great.
Brady Christensen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like Humphrey, but I just don't think that they would look at Humphrey and be all like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Yeah, probably not.
But yeah, I have Kyle Trask going here at 56.
Yeah. So
Um,
I tried
oh yeah,
desperately to have the Rams trade out of this spot. I tried so hard, and I just couldn't find a viable trade partner for them because I really do think the Rams will be looking to move out because they have no picks this year, next year, or the year after. They shipped them all away. They need to be trying to look to trade back with everyone while their team is so good because they don't really have any pressing needs right now. They will later. So try to accumulate those picks. I couldn't find one for my mock, and maybe they can't either because there was nothing on my board really worth trading up for necessarily. So I have them staying put and picking Creed Humphrey because they need offensive line help. They need to protect Matt Stafford. They need to protect Matt Stafford if they have any hope of making a championship run.
that's literally exactly what I did. That's literally exactly what I did. It's the exact same train of thought. I looked at it and I was just all like, because I even thought about maybe Washington move up to get Kellen Mond, or another team move up to get Kellen Mond. But I was just like, with both of those other quarterbacks already going, with Davis Mills gone and now Kyle Trask gone, there's probably a good chance that Kellen Mond just falls.
Yeah,
Like I
he
just
just
don't,
fumbles.
and I just don't think that the Washington would give up what the Rams want. Like they wouldn't give up
Because
that
that's a pretty
much.
far move. Yeah, it's a pretty far move. I actually had the Steelers originally in my move up for Kyle Trask. I had them originally moving up with the Rams, and I
Oh
was able to change that because I had the Steelers moving out of the first round because I don't think they go with three second
no, no,
rounders.
no!
I don't
I don't
think
think they have the cap space to
that.
do three twos.
No,
No.
no. So
Um, but yeah, in mine they only have two twos, but they're like right next to each other. They saw
yeah,
the chance and they pounced on it. But another team that saw a chance and pounced on it was the Chiefs with getting OBJ, so they no longer really need O linemen right here. I personally went with they want a shiny new toy, like always. They go with Diami Brown.
whoa. Over Amari Rogers, that's who I sent them. I agree with the shiny new toy perspective. That's what they always do. They always get a shiny new toy with their first pick. Always do it. It's just later this year than normal.
Yeah,
So
I
I
the
give them Amari Rogers.
yeah, you're doing Amari Rogers.
Yeah.
So the only reason why I'm doing Diami Brown more is because he does have more hype right now than Amari does. Amari has been projected as a third round talent like almost throughout. Like I mean, I've seen some people maybe have him peak into the second, but I've also seen some people have him drop in the fourth. So for me, I love, don't get me wrong, I love Amari Rogers. I think he is fantastic, but I do think teams are going to be lower on him than what other people are. Kind of like the Justin Fields thing.
Yeah, it's stupid that people are as low on him as they are, and I agree. I couldn't have him fall to the second. He's too talented, and someone like Andy Reid will see that in him, I believe, and he'll see Amari Rodgers and be like, "Imagine me giving this to Mahomes. I got to do it."
Yeah, but I think he sees that in Diami Brown as well, though.
And he might.
And
It's
so
really
I
just a matter of personal preference for them. That's all it is.
no, exactly. But what do you got the Browns doing here at 59?
So this is where I have them get the
Okay.
edge to develop. They go Ronnie Perkins here. I think that Stefanski is not afraid of Ronnie Perkins' potential character issues. He hammered the entire Browns organization into shape in a single season without an off season. He can take Ronnie Perkins by the face mask, hit him upside the head a few times, and say, "You're going to behave and you're going to play well and you're going to be my next star." And that's what's going to happen.
No, Stefan, I have nothing but respect for that man. 'Cause I can't even imagine being a head coach of a team for only 1 year without a legitimate offseason, by the way, and get sick not be there for their first playoff game in forever. First playoff game in the home of their rival.
And he coached them well enough that they went in there and
And
they kicked butt.
smacked them.
It kicked butt. The Browns need to be something to be feared. I think Stefanski may emerge as one of the top coaches in the league here very shortly, if he's not already.
He very well might. He really could. But here I already got their edge of the future with Gregory Rousseau, which I think that is also a scary thought. But I have them going Dwayne Eskridge here. They want to get another toy. Okay. They want to get another wide receiver. So yeah, I think they go Dwayne Eskridge. I really like Eskridge, and he's a little bit bigger of a dude than some of these other people. I know Amon Ra is climbing right now, but I don't know. I just have a more.
He's a third rounder.
I just have a feeling he's going to go in the third round again because he might have some hype right now, but he's consistently been like in the third round project.
Yeah.
Dwayne Eskridge, on the other hand, I mean, when there was a lot of people talking about like a wide receiver run happening at the end of the first, I saw Dwayne Eskridge a lot of times in that kind of scenario go in the top of the second.
Yeah. I'm all aboard the Eskridge hype train, as the people that watched our wide receiver video know. So yeah, I don't personally have him going in the second because I think he's underrated as heck. So that's just the way of the board. But I like that landing spot for him.
Yeah, I think the Browns are somebody that might take that shot on him specifically.
I like that. I like it.
But then we got the Saints here, and with the Saints, I'm not gonna lie, I was debating between edge and safety because I really like the thought of Richie Grant in New Orleans, but I also really like the thought of Perkins or Turner in New Orleans.
Okay.
But I went Richie Grant. I can't unsee it. I drafted it once and I can't unsee it. Like I really
it's
like.
A good fit.
I really like Richie Grant to the Saints. I just think it fits. They and with mine, since they got Greg Newsome, they fixed their secondary in the first two rounds. Easy.
And what grabbing Richie Grant allows them to do is to let Marcus Williams go. I don't know why on earth they franchise tagged him. They did not have the money. They did not have the cap space. It was frankly wrong to Marcus Williams to franchise tag him onto that team. They needed to let him go. So now find a trade partner for that man and get some value back. And I think maybe they can get a second rounder for him or something like that. Maybe even this draft. It might have to happen next year, and I think that's probably more likely. But that's okay because if you pick Richie Grant, plug and play, and honestly, there's not going to be a huge step off from Marcus Williams to Richie Grant. So take care of it, garner the extra second, and then with that extra trade ammo for Marcus Williams, say the QB battle this year goes disastrously, and they're in the QB hunt next draft. You got an extra piece to move up if you need to.
No, 100%. Yeah, I like I said, once I drafted it once, I couldn't unsee it. Like I just saw it and I was like, I can just see his name in the black and gold.
It fits, right? It fits. Yeah. I like it. But I have them going with a different DB in Kelvin Joseph.
Okay.
I think this is his spot. They like the big lengthy corners and like Lattimore. So and Joseph is a little bit of a DB, so he can also fill the Marcus Williams void if necessary.
Yes.
So it's a good fit here.
No, I completely agree. If Kelvin Joseph fell that far, I could see that. But I mean, oh wait, no. Also, I had him take Greg Newsome in the first. So if I had him take Greg Newsome in the first, yeah, I could see Kelvin Joseph. I could even see them go Asante Samuel too, but I think you already had them. Yeah.
I almost gave them Nick Bolton as well. I think they also needed a linebacker. to build something around, and Nick Bolton is that traditional linebacker that you build your defense around.
That
I
is
was
fair.
really close to sending him here,
That's
but
fair.
I couldn't unsee them going after another DB. They got to do it.
No, yeah, yeah, which is why I think they do it in the first, but that's
They
fair.
can double dip. That's fine.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
what do you got? What do you got for the Bills?
This is Elijah Molden's spot. Easy. I sent him. I sent Elijah Molden to Buffalo in the second round in my very first mock draft that I did in preparation for this. I never changed it. It's one of the few picks that never changed.
Okay. See, I'm
I
not that high on Elijah Molden. Uh,
and that's fair,
but I see what you're talking about. I also went corner. I just went Asante Samuel.
and that's fine. I think Buffalo does go corner here
Yeah.
to pair someone with Tre'Davious White. I think it's Molden. It may be Asante Samuel if Asante Samuel's still on the board. I just think he goes significantly earlier than this
No, and
because of
that's
his dad.
no, and that's
Teams
fair.
value that heritage. So it's pretty rare to see somebody a quality player like him. While he has size concerns, his dad succeeded perfectly well, and he's almost an exact clone of his father.
No, yeah,
I don't think teams will be overly sus of the size.
I think
So
some teams might. Some teams that are real big on having big dudes, and I feel like maybe the 49ers might be that way.
that could be. It could be.
And again, it's just a feeling I get. I could be completely wrong. 49ers fans, throw into the comments every single time you've taken a small defensive person. Have at me. I don't know. I just think that's the feeling I get, especially
And
now.
that's fair. I just think they want
No,
the big mouth.
no. I mean that's also yeah. I'm not complaining about Molden. I'm just saying for me, I win Asante. Because I
That's
understand people are high on Molden. But
yeah.
here at the Packers, so I've said multiple times that they don't take a weapon in the first. You got around that by having them trade back and get a weapon earlier. And another thing that they like having two Rodgers on the team for some reason. I'm giving them
This is the
Amari
spot.
Rodgers. This is
I
this
can
is
see it.
this is Amari Rodgers' spot because also think about it. Rondale Cobb was mentored by Amari Rodgers' father, T. Martin, and Amari Rodgers fits that mold almost perfectly.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And that of course Aaron Rodgers wants another Rondale Cobb. Of course he
Randall
does.
Cobb. Randall Cobb. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep saying Rondale. I think because
Rondell
of
Moore.
Rondale
Randall
Moore.
Cobb.
I
Yeah.
think it's because of Rondale Moore. I keep on saying Rondale.
These names. These names, man.
Yeah, I know. And I am terrible with names in general. So don't get mad at me whenever I say anybody's name wrong. I will do it consistently. I am
Way it goes.
surprised I haven't messed up more during talking about all of these names.
Yeah.
But I think Amari Rogers just fits so well in Green Bay and him being here, I think they are a team that can take the shot on him that will take him at the end of the second because their next pick is at the late third, so he's definitely not there then. So
Yeah.
take it
Just do
now.
it now.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Because I already had the Packers grabbing their weapon, I think this is where they get their O lineman, and this is where they take their safe pick. And Dylan Radins, this is it. Dylan Radins, it's one of the more clear fits that you'll see in this draft. He looks like a Packer. He plays like a Packer. Packers need offensive tackles.
No, I would not complain about that if I was the Packers. Honestly, I could maybe even see the Packers trade back in from the first into the second, and maybe even still pick up somebody like Radins and then take somebody like Amari Rogers, depending on how many O line have gone.
They could totally reverse this order.
Yeah.
What I did, like instead of going Rondale Moore earlier, they go Dylan Radins at the beginning. Like that's how good of a fit he is for them.
No. Yeah.
I could totally see it. I
Yeah.
think they really luck into getting him at this point.
Yeah. And just for me, I couldn't. I didn't have that many O linemen go, so I couldn't.
Send him that early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if I sent anybody early to the Packers in mine, it would have been Wyatt Davis. But I mean, Dylan Radins. You aren't wrong. He definitely has that Packer vibe. But what do you got for the Chiefs' second round pick?
So this is possibly one of the best picks in the second round, value wise. They grabbed Nick Bolton to fix their linebacker hole. This does it perfectly. Nick Bolton can be the identity on that defense easily. I'm really high on Nick Bolton. I
No,
believe I gave him an A. In the I don't know why he's graded so lowly, and he might honestly fall this far, and that it could be a great boon for the Chiefs defense. And if the Chiefs land someone like this after making the trade for Orlando Brown, they fill both of their biggest holes easily, and then they walk away. So I was really sus of the Chiefs offseason, as I know Lee was, and this fixes it for me totally, entirely. They lost Watkins. They replaced him with Amari Rogers or Diami Brown. Doesn't really matter.
no, yeah,
They they
both.
they fixed the linebacker hole with Nick Bolton, and they fixed their offensive line between Joe Thuney and Orlando Brown.
Well, and they also got like two other people. I can't remember their names, but they got two other people.
Yeah,
Like I think like
they
four
managed to
people.
literally upgrade everywhere somehow. I thought we were going to be looking at a significantly worse Chiefs team, and I don't. If they manage to do something like this, what I have them doing, we're not. We're looking at a better Chiefs team,
No,
and I
yeah,
just
I
don't know
was,
how that
but
happened.
I scrolled down here to Nick Bolton at 40 for me. Yeah, I'm high on Nick Bolton as well. I don't think he's there anymore for the Chiefs. I don't think there is a linebacker there for the Chiefs except for maybe Baron Browning. But I don't like Browning to the Chiefs. I don't feel it. I don't see it.
When I
Um,
had Bolton going earlier to the Broncos, incidentally, I actually had the Chiefs still going linebacker, and I said I'm Chaz Surratt. I think this is
I could see Chaz Surratt, but I also think that they also want some bigger D line guys, and Davian Nixon could fill that hole too.
very true. Very true. The only reason I wouldn't see that, and this doesn't necessarily preclude it, is because they just took Jaron Reed from the
No,
Seahawks, so
yes,
he's almost a duplicate role. But they can use two of them on that D line. They run a 4-3 scheme. They need two defensive tackles, and it still makes sense. They need to beef up that whole D line anyways. If you have a great D line, your linebackers can be slightly subpar. So if they don't like the linebacker choices there, that would be the most logical thing.
yeah, like I like Chaz Surratt, and I mean I Pete Warner, I mean or Werner, not Warner, Werner. Like
Werner's okay. Browning's
yeah.
okay. It's too
I
early for
definitely like
him.
Surratt more than Werner, and like maybe some other of these linebackers down here. Um, but I just feel like here Davian Nixon for the Chiefs is probably the best player available, unless they want to go edge like with Turner or Perkins.
Either one of those would be fine.
Yeah, I mean honestly I was debating between those three, but I just feel like that they would go D line there instead of edge. But they very I mean I know that there was a lot of Chiefs people wanting Turner, and I could honestly really see Turner. Again that's what I was debating between, but I kind of just went with D line.
And that's fair.
Yeah. And so moving on, who do you got for the Bucks?
For the last pick of our mock draft, I give the Bucks. So for the last two picks of this mock draft, I did possibly the two best value picks in my opinion in the whole draft, and they get Kellen Mond. This is his spot. This is where he can develop because if he gets, I absolutely love Kellen Mond, and I oozed over him in the first episode where we talked about quarterbacks. If he gets to sit behind Tom Brady, I see no reason why Kellen Mond is not the next star quarterback in the league. I see no reason why not. He looks and he plays like Dak Prescott, and if Dak Prescott had gotten to sit behind Tom Brady for a year, I mean, they after Dak's first season, they were saying he could be the next Tom Brady, which obviously he's not gonna be. But that's Kellen Mond could all of a sudden become that. It and him getting to train under Bruce Arians for possibly Bruce Arians' last season. All of Bruce Arians is going to be thrown into this season. He's going to throw the last bit of himself and probably die on the sideline. He's gonna throw his life energy into Kellen Mond, and Kellen Mond's gonna become something special.
See, see if we had done a 3 round mock draft, I was thinking about the Buccaneers possibly being able to trade up to grab Kellen Mond in front of some of those other teams that would be taking a quarterback in the third round. I just don't think that that's a pressing need right now because of the teams picking next. And you know how, like you said, Kellen Mond could be the next Tom Brady?
Hmm.
Well, Pat Freiermuth could be the next Gronkowski.
Ha! I love it. I love it. That's such a good fit.
I
If he's still there at the end of the second, that'd be crazy good value. I love that.
Yeah,
I love it.
I would love if they get Freiermuth and then in the third round somehow get Mond. Get when
Get
both
the
of those
next
Asian
Brady and
guys
then get that
leave.
next Gronk.
I mean, he's already called Baby Gronk. Like,
He is. Oh God,
I
that
think
would be
that would
something.
be amazing.
That would be something. That would be something.
well, I will be linking links to both of our mock drafts in the comments down below, or not the comments, the you know what I'm talking about. I'll be linking them down below. Check out the info of the video if you want to see these in full and pick them apart. Let us know how terrible we did. Honestly, for me personally, I think this mock or not this mock this draft is going to be one of the craziest drafts we have ever seen in a very long time. I will be happy to get 10 picks correctly.
Oh, I'm in the same camp,
Like,
and that includes the picks of Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson.
yes, yes,
If I can get 10 picks other than those, this is good. That's what any analyst should shoot for, honestly,
yeah.
because the draft is just so crazy and unpredictable. Trades can form in the last 2 minutes of each time slot. A team can have a card written out with a guy's name on it and get a trade offer right as they're about to send it up to the stand, and then them change their minds and take the trade. And the whole time, all the analysts have been planning on them picking the guy whose name is on that card, and it changes because of a trade offer. So those are just impossible to predict.
No, exactly,
So
exactly. Like you would have to have so many connections, which I get some people do. And those people that have those many connections make some of the most accurate mock drafts. 100%.
yeah,
We are,
on the outside looking in, it's impossible to get very much more than 10 or 15 picks correct.
I was about to say, we are but two humble men in Texas. Like,
Yeah,
we,
one
we,
day maybe,
huh?
one day maybe, one day maybe we'll get there.
Hey,
But
hey, I mean, one day maybe. That would be freaking sweet. But make sure you do all the good YouTube algorithm stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know all your opinions. We love to hear them. And until next time, this is Two Nerds Sportscast. I am Lee,
and I'm Joel,
and
and
we
we'll
are
see you next week.
we are peacing out.